Welcome to Paper Play Action. This is your host, Amani Brown. This is our podcast talking about all types of media. We'll be covering things from video games, webtoons, comic books, anime, anything you can actually think of, and we'll try to bring you guys as much as possible, new things to your eyes as possible. We'll be first starting off. I'll introduce you guys to our illustrious co-hosts. We have, first off, Paul Basha. You want to say anything? Introduce yourself, man.
Hey guys, happy to be here. My name is Paul Basha. I like pretty much anything that you throw at me. Just consume a lot of content, particularly movies. And I'm just really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Probably for the best.
And we will also talk about our other illustrious co-host, Andre.
What's up, dudes? It's as Paul said, it is good to be here. I am pretty much involved in the arts in general, whatever you can consider the arts. That is something I'm involved in. So I hope to bring a lot of good stuff to you guys' attention. Also, a lot of stuff outside of the arts. You know, like some science, some technology, some whatever you might not know of. Just bring things to your attention and do it as hilariously as possible. So thank you for having me, guys.
Well, we're all glad to be here, and I myself am just a huge comic book and video game nerd. Cover all of it. All of us here are also writers at the same time, so part of what Paper Play Action is about is not only do we play video games, like we say, watch movies, which is the action, but we also write, which is what the paper part is about, along with D&D as well. So there's plenty of little things that we do that kind of adjust to everything we do here. First, I want to talk about our podcast and how it's going to be set up. We have a Patreon. The way this is actually going to work is 20% of all proceeds for it will be donated to a charity of our choosing. We will go out of our way to let you guys know on our Twitter at Paper Action. We'll just update you guys every week on which charity it's going to, so you can see which week you want to. Just have to put that out there that this is where the money is going. We're going to be very clear with you guys. There's going to be an equal split between all of us, and then the 20% that gets taken right off the top, that will be going to whatever charity is being chosen for that week. If we don't update the charity that week, then let it be known that it will be going to the last charity that was mentioned, just because, just in case it slips our mind or anything like that, it'll definitely be going somewhere, so don't think we'll ever be chipping you guys out. But it's a great way to support the show and just show us that you like what we're doing, and it's also a good way to just help out around in general. It could be a plethora of problems that are out there, and it's just good to know that something is kind of going towards it in some way, shape, or form. But let's get into our weeks. Here we do a more of a personal kind of roundabout of each of our weeks is the best way to describe it. We'll just bring to you what we've discovered and what we've been enjoying these past time that we've been going through, and hopefully it's something you haven't discovered, and if it's something you've already know, then know that we also enjoy it too. First off, we'll start off with me, I guess.
Yes, that's appropriate. Yeah. Don't you think?
I feel like it's just appropriate enough, right?
Yeah, it's just appropriate enough. What you got, man?
So, for me, I'm just going to mention this because they probably already heard me say it to death, but I've been playing 13 Sentinels like crazy. This game is actually, in my opinion, personally amazing. I can't stress it enough how good the writing is. If you like sci-fi, you will love this thing. Fortunately, the way this game works is you cannot talk about it past a certain point, because it's sort of like a visual novel, but it also has strategy elements as well. So it actually has strategy gameplay, almost like XCOM a little bit, but a little bit more freeformed, so to speak. But the main story is probably the best, without actually truly overhyping it, probably the best sci-fi thing I've ever seen. Almost like most shows in some instances, those thriller shows that keep you hanging by the edge of your like seat every week. They do that with every chapter. Like, it's nonstop. It's actually kind of crazy. I've never seen a game, or I've seen a show, but I've never seen a game that consistently hits these notes of, wait, what? You just mind blown? Like, is that a moment that I should be aware of? And then consistently on the next one, just be like, and now we've thrown another curveball at you. How you feeling, bro? It's the pacing is crazy. And on top of that, like, the game was like nominated for like best narrative, and it is a crime. I'm honestly, like, this is not me trying to like overhype. It is honestly a crime that it didn't win. Like, it's that good.
Wow.
It's best way to describe what it's about, though, is I said it's sci-fi. A lot of it, sci-fi kind of really covers it, though. It's constantly making references to a bunch of sci-fi movies that have happened within the past, let's say, 20 years. It has references like E.T., Terminator. It's like, it uses its plot. There's time travel involved, and that's not a spoiler. Like, that's in the first couple minutes. Like, we have dealings with androids and possibly cats that might be the devil. Like, crazy, really crazy stuff. It's very out there.
Wait.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. But it's not like, but everything about it is still very much like coherent, and as you are like playing through it, everything makes sense, but it constantly gets you like, wait, what is that about? Like, you're constantly asking questions as to what is going on without ever being confused as to what is going on. I've only found myself kind of questioning what is happening maybe like once or twice, and even when that happens, I'm kind of like, there's an entire log for you to go to just check out what things are. So you just tab over and be like, okay, I need to understand who this person is. We've seen him like 3 times. Do we know anything about him? And it's like, oh, look, there it is, right there. This is what you needed. Everything you need is right here. It's like it has its own Wikipedia page inside to help you understand it slightly better if you don't get it. It's really good, honestly. Honestly, it might be my personal favorite game of like 2021. I initially started playing it in 2020, but I can't give it. It was just too late as far as like when I started playing it. So it's doing a good job. It's doing a really good job already. Other thing for my week, just gonna go to is Attack on Titan's final season.
Man.
If we're gonna talk about bangers that just keep hitting,
God.
I was like,
Oh.
this show's just been hitting. It's so good. Everything they've done so far with it has been just, and I knew some stuff that was gonna happen before. We have, I think, officially caught up to everything I've read, and it's still done so well that like it still hits me. Their most recent episode, without actually spoiling it for anybody, I knew what was gonna happen. I knew how things were gonna play out, and the gut punch still got me. Like, no matter what I did, right there. I was like, I knew it was happening. I knew it was gonna happen, and I was still just sitting there like, they really did this to me. They didn't have to do me like this. I really didn't need this in my life right now.
God, man, avoiding spoilers is gonna be gnarly, man.
Oh, dude, avoid it. You should just catch up.
I appreciate you not spoiling because I'm only 3 episodes in, and I was like, "Is it gonna say it?" Or,
oh, no,
dude,
no. This is a podcast going. No, I will not be responsible for spoiling Attack on Titan on my first.
Appreciate that.
No, absolutely not.
Yo, that show's last. Oh man, I want to reference something so bad.
I know.
can you do it in one word without spoiling it?
I can. Yes. Demon. I mean, that's all.
Okay.
No, devil.
Okay. I think I understand that.
I'll just say
I
devil.
get it.
Yeah.
I think that's vague enough.
All the words I was going through, all the one words I was going through was still spoilers. So I was like, maybe I can't do this. But no, devil's good enough.
That'll work. Another thing I've been watching, since we're on the topic of anime for a moment, is Jujutsu Kaisen.
And watch it.
I initially started reading this, and when I started reading it, I got a recommendation for this like a while back, probably at least like a year or two ago. Back when it first started, honestly, it was around the time when it was starting to really get good, and I wanted to start actually reading it. And by the time I actually started reading it, they was like, "We're announcing an anime," so I was like, "I'll just read a couple more chapters and then I'll just watch it when it comes out." I'm personally not caught up, but the show was great. After reading a couple chapters originally, I got to a specific point where I was just like, "Oh, the concept for this is kind of nice." Like, and this isn't a spoiler because it's the first couple minutes. Our main character, specifically in Jujutsu Kaisen, is cursed because he's a fool and decided to swallow this thing known as Sukuna's finger, which are one of several cursed objects that take place within the world. They're probably like one of the strongest ones, actually. And by doing so, it curses him with Sukuna. He becomes possessed. But it turns out he has the innate ability to resist it. Most people aren't actually able to resist it at all. In fact, they succumb to it, become these things called like demons and stuff like that, and they're just at the whims of like whatever it is that they wished for. But our main character did it to protect him, like to protect other people around him, and because of that, it seems that he's just able to. He kind of gets this ability to just kind of turn off Sukuna. It's the best way to describe it. So Sukuna like possesses him. He's like, "Yo, this is nice. I got a body, bro. This is gonna be that. I'm gonna be out here. I'm gonna do some stuff. Time to start like raping and pillaging. Exactly what I just need to do. It's been a minute." And then Itori is the name of our protagonist. Is just like, "Nah, I'm not having that, bro. Get back. It's my body. I run this. How dare you?" And it initially throws Sukuna for a loop because he's just like, "What? It's like, aren't you supposed to? You're supposed to like be gone. What do you mean you just came back, took over?" Like, it doesn't be like that. It's like, get out.
Right, a whole demon
My
against
body.
a mortal man. Yeah.
But that does beg the question because there are Jujutsu sorcerers, hence the name, that exists, and their entire idea is to get rid of curses specifically. And after Itori swallows his finger, a problem arises, which is we have to kill you. They're like, we have to, like, not only do you, like, are you a vessel for Sukuna, like one of the worst curses that exists. He's literally the king of curses. He's like, but you're also kind of just weirdly strong. That's the other thing about Itori. He just, like, for a human, he's just kind of superhuman. And everyone looks at it like no one in the show plays it off as if it's normal. They're like, "Why are you able to do this?" And like, "I don't know, I got strong genes, I guess. I don't freaking know." He's like, He's not actually, because he's not like a Mary Sue. It's not like he's just good at everything.
Yeah.
It's just he
That's
has
dope.
strong genes, and then on top of that, like, he has a very strong will.
For some reason, my man is just strong.
So yeah.
Wow.
And him like not being taken over by Sukuna is not like, oh, he just did it. It's just something that like everybody in the show is like, "Why are you able to do this?" And he's like, "I don't know. I didn't know about curses until 5 minutes ago. Like, I actually have no idea why I'm able to do this." He's like, and it's very much played as like everyone kind of understands it. It's like, okay, so you're weird, right? And he's like, "Yeah." Just a little bit. But like I said, like, they have to kill him, essentially, to come back to it. And so they capture him and everything like that, and a deal is given to him, which is like, okay, you're an oddity, for sure. The fact that you could just swallow Sukuna's fingers and just be fine is kind of strange in itself. Not only do you know too much to not do anything, but we can kill you now, or we can kill you later. And the deal is that if you go and eat the rest of these fingers, we can just kill off Sukuna now. We never have to worry about him again. But you just gotta eat the rest of them. That's the deal. It was like, you eat the rest of them, and we kill you, and it's all said and done. Like, we get rid of Sukuna, everything's fine. And Itori initially is just like, that kind of sucks, but I choose the way I die, so I'll do it. And I find that premise to be really interesting, because I've never really seen a premise in which, I mean, I've probably seen a couple times here and there, but I find it really unique. The idea of having a main character who's under the complete impression that, like, oh no, he's gonna die at the end of this. And the entire story is told in this concept of like, yeah, we can do everything. We will have all like these amazing adventures with all your friends and stuff like that. But like at the end of this, it's gonna be sad because you're not making it out of it. You don't get to go home at the end of this story. It's very much like a tragic hero kind of story, but instead of like starting at the end, it's very much told to you from the beginning. This is where your journey ends, like down that line. It's either you do it now or you do it later, but either way, you're gonna have to go at some point. And it's like,
Wow.
he just agrees to it, and I find that really, that concept in itself is really interesting to me. So he becomes a Jujutsu sorcerer for the simple fact of like, not because he's just because he wants to live, but because he's like, I can help people by doing this because these curses hurt people. If I get rid of the strongest one, that's way less people in the world that get hurt. It's just a really interesting way of doing it, in my opinion.
What's dope as hell?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It sounds like a
What is
really
that stream
interesting anime or manga to get into.
It is, honestly. Like, that's why I'm like super recommending it right now. If you haven't gotten on it, you should check it out. Because the concept in itself is just really unique in itself.
Yeah. It sounds like it takes like a lot of like tropes from like shonen and kind of like either turns them on their head or like uses them in a new way, so it like keeps it fresh.
Oh, it does. Personally, right now, I would say that their female protagonists that they have, like, you know how they have the three, she's probably like easily one of the best female characters written in a lot of modern day shonen and manga. Like, she's not like that weak damsel in distress. She's not Sakura.
Yeah.
And for those
Sakura
that might be
wasn't
controversial, Sakura was kind of crap. She's easily the most poorly written character in Naruto, and that's not trying to don't at me. She is.
I mean, she was great at
slight nobody and nothing. She's kind of whack.
Yeah,
Sakura was great at being nothing. You know, I don't care how much
That's what I'm
shade I
saying.
catch for that. That's true.
yeah. It's not even trying to like
it's
attack a
she's kinda
specific
whack,
fan
bro.
base. It's just she really didn't
That
do
character
much. And when you look
sucks.
at the other two characters, like
the other two main
yeah,
characters.
you look at the
bro.
other two.
Literally
main
like
characters,
two
it's
gods, and then Sakura's like, I'm gonna throw a
I'm here.
stick at him. It's like, I hate
She's
you.
there, bro. She's just there, and she keeps showing up. That's the problem.
she never stops
Like,
showing up.
Dude, she's like,
she never stops showing
how
up.
heavy can I go with my jokes? Because I just got one, and I was like, wait a minute, this is our first podcast. I don't know, like,
All right, let's hit.
Sakura to me is like the handler in Monster Hunter World. Put it like that.
yeah,
I can't stand her.
shows up everywhere. You don't want her.
I can't stand her, man.
Yeah,
I was gonna.
those that
Yeah.
those that don't know, Andre has a specific hatred for the handler in Monster Hunter World. He
Oh
loves that
man, dude.
He has a specific hatred for her.
Oh,
I'm gonna just say it, and y'all let me know if it's too much for the podcast.
Might have not. We'll just tone set it. Here we go.
All right, so just in case, you gotta let me know because this is our first one. Sakura's kind of like cancer. It keeps coming back, and you definitely don't want it.
I'll leave it. Tone set.
All right, bet.
Now you understand.
Good. I'm just making sure that I can get away with that one. It would have been better if I had
fine.
just said it, but I wanted to test the waters first.
He's not wrong. Now
Oh,
I'll give her
man.
credit. She's, better
She's like
in Boruto.
herpes. There you go. She keeps coming back.
Yeah,
There we go.
I'll give her credit. She's better in Boruto for sure. They actually get to have a moment of her actually getting to flex and show how much of a like badass she is. So Boruto's personally not my favorite anyway right now. Like, but that's not neither here nor there. I'm not even gonna start about the rant about Boruto. I refuse.
We can sum it up with 2 words. 3 words. Excuse
Boruto
me.
shouldn't have been the main character.
Not
That's
so
all
good.
I'm gonna say.
I've never watched Boruto, but all I know is that Naruto fans hate Boruto, and I'm just
It's not only
I'm
is it
baffled.
like here's the main thing. Not only does it take too long to get to where we need to be,
Yeah.
because
Oh, no.
the first the couple pages show you a thing, and you're like, I'm interested in that story. We haven't reached that story yet. Like right now, the manga's in a good place. Like interesting stuff are happening, but the anime is just taking too long to get to the good stuff. But then on top of that, like I said before, Boruto should not have been the main character of this series. He's too much. Of that. He's honestly too much. Of
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no.
It should have been Sarada. Yeah, we're hitting you with all the controversial opinions. I don't even think that one's that controversial, honestly. I think this is a nice, decent portion. That's like, yeah, it should have been her. But the problem is if you make it Sarada, then it's kind of like a carbon copy, low-key, of the first one. Because she actually wants to be Hokage, and she looks up to Naruto. Whereas Boruto's like, I want to be like Sasuke. And I'm like, you mean a terrorist? You just want to be a terrorist?
I want to join ISIS. They have a good cause.
Like, he's vibing now. He's like, you know, he's not trying to be a terrorist right now. But you think about the entire beginning of Naruto, you're like, nah, that man was a terrorist. He was a traitor. You shouldn't have did this. The other thing, further along with my week so far, I've been reading the Lovecraft Collection.
Oh, nice. Nice.
What you got so far?
What do you think about that? What do you think about that, man?
I am very much interested in the Lovecraft Collection. Like, I've always been interested anyway. Like, Lovecraft's always had my attention for like a long period of time.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to finally start getting to read it. I've read a couple of his stories. Okay, so here's the deal. This is the thing I didn't expect with the Lovecraft Collection. I figured it was a bunch of short stories. He has some books in there that I just wasn't prepared for.
They're never long, too. I think
Absolutely.
the longest is like the Mounts of Madness, or At the Mounts of Madness, whatever. It's like
That was the
120
longest one.
pages. And that's
Yeah, I went through that one. Mountains of Madness is good. I'll admit, by the end of it, I was slightly confused, but
oh yeah,
I'm not.
it's normal.
It's not that bad. Yeah. But I understood it for the most part. It was fun. I'm trying to see what other stories. I know I read Mountains of Madness.
Did you read Cthulhu, Call of Cthulhu?
I did The Alchemist. I'm in the middle of Call of Cthulhu.
Okay. Good.
Right now, Call of Cthulhu is good.
Dunwich Horror is
I'm
really good,
enjoying
too.
it. Where was it?
Color Out
I'm
of
trying
Space
to-
is also really good. As is the Nicolas
think-
Cage movie, but that's it.
I need to check that out,
Yeah,
actually.
I knew you'd
It's-
tell
You
me
mentioned
at
that
some
one, and I
point,
was like,
It's
alright.
crap,
I knew you were
but
gonna
it's
talk
good
about that.
crap, and they did such a good job with it. It really is, like, it's worth
It
watching.
was like, it hits
That
all
movie
the
looks
right
incredible,
spots.
dude.
Let me see.
I could watch that movie without audio, bro.
I agree.
It would just hit like
I'm
that.
serious, man. No subtitles. I'll just look at it.
Oh, my mistake. I've finished Call of Cthulhu. I am in the middle of the case of Charles Daxter Ward.
Good. Make sure you read
Um,
Dagon. It's a short story, but it's basically what turned into, what was it? I think it's, I can't remember. Never mind. But Dagon's a good one.
Mind Palace.
I can definitely tell you which ones I've gone through so far. I've gone through The Alchemist, At Mountains of Badness, Azeroth, The
Nice.
Beast in the Cave. The Beast in the
Azeroth.
Cave was actually really good. Azeroth. Beyond the Wall of Sleep. That one was an interesting one. The book, Call of Cthulhu, and like I said, I'm in the middle of The Curious Case of Daxter Ward.
What's the one? I think it's Polaris. He has one. He had like a dream. He went to like some like alien city. That one's like just out there, man. It's great.
Yeah, that one just kind of. I think I know exactly which one you're talking about. I was like, what? Because that one just goes, and it's not long. Like you said, like a lot of his works aren't long, but he has some like just books in there that's just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't there we go. This one's kind of long.
His older style of prose makes everything feel a lot longer than it was.
I feel that.
Yeah.
He's. I find it really interesting that like a lot of his stuff is known as like indescribable horrors, and it's difficult to like imagine what these things are. But like he actually really describes them in extreme detail. It's kind of surprising because it's like, oh, I can't possibly imagine what this is, and then you look at the actual thing, like the text, and you're like, he's describing it word for word what it is, though. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Was it? It was Call of Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu specifically was really good to me. Like as far as like reading it goes, I was like, there was a lot of it that was in there. Mountains of Madness was really descriptive as well, but Call of Cthulhu was really good because I just liked how it played out. It's like this investigation that just goes on. I would recommend, like, if you haven't and you're interested, I would honestly just say go read it. But I feel like a ton of people have already looked into it. But I also feel like there's a ton of people out there that's just looked into the lore of Cthulhu. and
Yeah,
hasn't
looking
actually-
looking into
Yeah.
Lovecraft stuff and reading the works of Lovecraft are two completely different things. Because you can go in a wiki and figure out what Cthulhu is and Azathoth and the expansive cosmos that Lovecraft created. But it's very different because when you read his stories, you're in the minds of the people who are, like for instance, Call of Cthulhu. You're in the minds of the investigators and seeing that sort of madness try to play itself out. But there's a difference to experiencing madness from the mind of the man who wrote it and experiencing the summary of like the ever expensive lore.
That's true.
That's so loud.
Because lore is fun to read. Lore is fun to just absorb. But going on the journey when you read it is like, man.
Now I do have a
you're in a
question
dark
for
room right
those
now with a book light.
that are aware. Is Lovecraft actually responsible for creating Cthulhu? Because he references it in certain stories. I mean, I guess I'm not technically reading them in order of like release or anything like that, but he references it multiple times throughout like other stories, despite never. Because it's not until Call of Cthulhu that like I actually hear anything about Cthulhu specifically. But in a bunch of other stories, they'll mention the word. It's like a Cthulhu of this, and I'm like, maybe I just had like a misunderstanding of it the whole time. I always figured he created the character.
He did, yeah.
And like that, all that lore. But okay, so it's like he just references his own work.
Yeah, and I think that's how it like created that interconnected like feeling of everything around like Providence was because of I'm pretty sure the timeline was he did like a bunch of short stories, then he did Cthulhu, and then after that he started doing the other ones, and that's where like all those references come from, and it made like an interconnected world, and it was just like something that people weren't really doing at the time.
Because I was wondering, because the way he uses it in some instances, I'm like, is Cthulhu like an actual word and then he named the creature afterwards, or is it like, how does it play out? Because I've never heard Cthulhu used outside of reference to the creature known as Cthulhu. So it's like, it's kind of strange to me. But the Lovecraft Collection is good. I've been enjoying it like a ton. It's been kind of lit. Also finished Coco. The takes a holiday.
Oh, you finally finished
you.
that? Wow, that's
You did.
what?
It's
2
good.
or 3 years now.
Shut up.
What's it called? Coco eats what? Coco goes? Coco takes a
Yeah.
who? Coco's where?
Coco takes a holiday.
Yeah.
Coco takes a holiday.
For those that
What's
don't
that?
know, and why would you? This is why this is actually comes as kind of a shocker. I'm not a huge book fan. Like I just have a hard time reading books sometimes. It's not like I have dyslexia. I just have a hard time focusing on.
Yeah, this
page.
man's a monster.
So,
He's a monster.
So I've just
He doesn't read.
might as well. It's like just so for these two who have been my friends for like years. It's like me just being like, so I'm reading Cthulhu. They're just like, fucking what? Okay. It's like I said, I've been
This
trying
absolute
to
menace to
definitely-
society.
Baby steps. Keep going.
Yeah, I've been trying to definitely like just read more in general. So it's been because it's not like I have no difficulties. It's just focus. It's a matter of focus with it. That's just kind of like ugh. And I could do comic books and manga and all this other webtoons and all this stuff all the other time, like no problem. It's like easy, but it's definitely just the staring at a wall of text and then my mind wanders on top of that. Like it just zips off into any direction. Like any specific word could set me off into thinking about something else, and it's just goes on its own rant. And then I'll come back to the page and be like, so where was I? God dang it, I've been stuck on this same page for like 3 hours, and I've read the same line 10 times. And it's different words in the same line.
I get the same kind of thing. So I have to go back and backtrack, but I think it's like a skill. You just like, as you read more and more, you get used to like, you'll break off and come back, and that doesn't happen nearly as often, so you can focus on what's there.
Yeah.
So keep going, man. You got it. You're getting better.
But the next one for my week, and this will be the final one before I hand it off to you guys. Big recommendation to Room of Swords. It is a webtoon on Webtoons. It's a webcomic, I guess I should say, on Webtoons. Which, it's not only is it the first one I started reading, it's probably like the most enjoyable. Not trying to dunk on any other ones, but to me it's just been the most enjoyable. Like it captured my attention so well, is the best way to describe it, that it's just kind of like, I gotta keep reading it. It recently just ended its most recent season. I'll have to check in a moment, but recently just ended that season.
Dang.
So if you haven't been reading it, my suggestion is
Well,
now's the time to catch up because you actually
this
have
is
an
Dre.
end goal at this current
Member
moment
of
to get
podcast
to,
play action.
as opposed to the ever winding
Trying to see if I can
idea
get
of like,
internet
oh,
back.
it's still coming out, so
Okay,
like I'll catch
yeah.
up eventually. It's honestly really cool. It involves just going into. The best way to describe it is, we start off in a world that has lots of little bits and pieces of video game-esque stuff that goes through it. So like you do like our main characters level up, they get new abilities, but like they never fully show like a stat screen. It's like it's very much understood that it's like it's not all a video game, but like you get like little pieces of stuff that kind of factor into it. And it's a matter of like all these people from different timelines and different places are brought to this one world. And they're pretty much told, hey, yo, find all these swords. Or die. Or, well, not really you die, but you'll find out. And as the story just progresses, it does a, without, don't want to spoil anything for this because like it's just a good ride. But as the story progresses, you just learn more and more about what exactly is going on here and why everyone's been brought to this location and what importance does everyone have to everyone else. Like, people are connected in different ways that it's just kind of like, oh wow, that's kind of great, like I just didn't see that coming. And it just does a really good job at just keeping a lot of mystery, and then when it gets to its like oh crap moments, it kind of hits. Like their oh crap moments are pretty big ones. They just kind of make you sit there and go like, oh, it's like this. Like you have to just rethink
What's it called?
how
again?
like you've been approaching the story just a little bit. So as we can see, I got at least 2 of them on here. We got 13 Sentinels and Room of Swords specifically that like to approach this idea of making you rethink how you're looking at a situation. And I love stuff like that. And on top of that, I'm also reading Lovecraft, which is also about just looking at situations differently and not truly understanding. So, kind of getting an idea of what I've been into this week, of just staring things of that nature. But, anybody else want to go? How about, either of you?
You want to go
How was
first?
your weeks?
Oh, Paul, please.
You want me to go?
I'm figuring out Wi-Fi as we speak. Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
I'm figuring it out as we speak.
So my week, it's not as heavy as yours.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, but so I've been into this game called Endless Space 2. I kind of just like saw it was like the endless sale on Steam or whatever last week, and I was like, what is that? And so I clicked, and it's like the 4 times strategy game, so it's like Civilization. And I bought their Endless Legends. I haven't played it yet because I've been playing Endless Space 2, and Endless Space 2 is basically like if Mass Effect, or excuse me, if the art style of Mass Effect, Destiny, Halo, like any of your favorite sci-fi, like all the best parts of them, like were put together into a game that's Civilization but in space. All right, yeah, that it's like crack, man. It is so hard to stop playing once you figure it out, because like at first it's like there's parts that are more complex than Civilization, and then there's a lot of it that's not. So it's like, you have to learn the game, but once you figure it out, like, it's incredible. So I've broken it down into like 3 sections, right? I got presentation, gameplay, and sound. That'll pretty much cover it. So presentation-wise, for a game that came out in like I think 2018, the visuals are amazing. Like all the animations you see, unless it's like the spaceship battles or whatever, right? Like it's all, I think, like ZBrush, but animated like still frame images and stuff. So like everything is just meticulously like gorgeous, and like the HUD and everything feels like I'm in the best parts of Mass Effect. Like everything just feels like I'm overseeing this galaxy and this war and whatnot that I'm doing. And it's hard to explain like. It's hard to explain like the feeling it conveys, but like if you're a heavy sci-fi fan and you really like getting lost in that stuff, like I can't recommend it enough. It really does like make you feel like you're there while you're just playing a game. You know what I mean? And then presentation-wise, it's like it can get a little complex. Like, Civilization, of course, gets complex too. You zoom out the map once you've got it all unlocked. You've got all these cities and whatnot. But here it's like planets and star systems and whatnot. So it's like you zoom out and it's like you'll see the galaxy and you'll see like all these little dots and whatnot.
The idea of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Like when you zoom out, you don't see like how everything's connected. And so you'll just have like all these little dots. You're like, what the hell is going on, man? But then you zoom in and it's just all of these clusters and civilizations and whatnot started. And so it's like, it takes a little bit to get used to it. But it's just, presentation-wise, very clean, very good. And it's like Civilization in space, right? It's just, they nailed it.
It does on PC, I assume.
Yep. Yeah, it's not coming to console. That would
PC.
be, maybe how they did like Civ 6
Impossible,
on
huh?
console.
That's true.
Maybe, okay.
But
It just takes the idea of the Lion King and like amplifies it. It's like everything the light touches, he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I can do you better."
yeah.
That's cool.
I will say, as
Rough
far as like
call.
presentation, that goes to gameplay. My bad. What were you saying, Andre? My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just asking if it was on PC. Really.
Yeah, it's
Because I don't
it's
see how
on
something like that
PC.
can ever go to console.
and it was made with Unity,
At least
so
not
it's like
now.
actually really scalable with the engine. So if you guys don't have a powerful PC and you want to try it, go for it. It's usually on sale. I got my copy for like $10.
I'll definitely give it a shot.
Oh yeah, but
I do like my RTSs randomly.
Oh, yeah.
It just hits me.
seriously, I mean, if you like Civ, I'm telling you.
But because Civ will randomly just hit me randomly. I'm like, I want to play Civ today, and so like the idea of another game is just kind of like that's like that would be a lot of fun
Oh yeah.
to me at least. It's just be like, oh yeah,
I've never played Civilization. I've
it's
never played anything
addictive.
Oh
It
God.
can be very RTSs
Okay.
can be addictive.
It's kind of like opening the Pandora's box of gaming if you like it, because you start to realize how fun it is to meticulously control a civilization and grow it and whatnot, and then before you know it, you've spent 300 hours on one giant campaign, and you're like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this again.
Wow.
And you do. And
Wow.
It's fun.
And you do.
but
Very well.
what's it called? So the gameplay, it's like I said, it's like Civ in space, right? So instead of like being able to zoom in and see your people, the way it handles it is you'll see like the starships, and you'll see like the clusters of planets, how they connect via lines, and then you'll have like the whole star clusters when you zoom out. It's all in like a big like galaxy, right? And so it's everything's in there and things like that, and of course color coded. So it's like Civ, but it's different. It's like without a visual representation, I can't really tell you, but so like your whole point, as far as me and my cousin have figured out, is you're just trying to build your civilization, much like Civ, and figure out how to win, right? So you have the wonder route, much like Civ. You have the economics, science, all these routes and whatnot. But your whole goal is to, you start on one planet. You want to go from there and start colonizing other planets and building your infrastructure, your empire. And then there's a heavy focus on trade. There's like a marketplace in it. So like you can sell your resources and buy the resources you need from the other players. And you can skew and ruin the market if you want by just buying it or selling a ton of stuff. My favorite faction right now is the Lumeris. They're entirely money-based. So instead of having to send a colony ship somewhere, as long as I can see it, and it's on my map, I can click on it, and I can click like create outpost, and it'll send my resources there. And they're heavy in like money and trade, and I love it. I can just sit back while the world burns and everyone fights. I'm just making. And that's how I like to play Civ. Is I play, the Germans, and I sit back with the Hans, and I get to the point where like I'm creating not the most science, but a lot where I'm ahead of everybody, the most money in the game, and then when I finally go to war, I'm just paying my way through it because I don't have to stress. I've got all the money. And Lumeris are good for that, but like the combat is, I would say, the weakest point of the game, and that's part of the gameplay. Is just like you have like your ships, okay, and they have their stats, and you can cluster so many together, right? For one fleet, you can upgrade the fleet as you go on through technology and whatnot, and that's fine. It kind of like when you go to battle, it's not like Civ where you like click on something, you'll click, it'll auto battle, it'll do the, it'll tell you. How it went, but like each battle starts, you have to choose the tactic that your team is going to use, and that changes the lineup of the units. So it's like more depth than Civ, but you don't directly control it. So it's just like it's cool, but it also lacks a little. But the part that's really confusing though is when you attack a planet to take it out. What they have ground troops, and then they have reinforcements, and then your ships have ground troops and reinforcements, and you have to. Choose how many of your troops, after unlocking it all, are going to be the ground soldiers, the tanks, or the jets, right? And you have to choose their tactic. And you have to watch it auto battle. And so, like, the way it works is, like, if your army's not strong enough, you go there, you drop them off, let them fight, go back to your planet, let it refill, and then go back and keep dropping off troops so that they can fight and die until they kill the enemy and take it over. And it's like
Good gravy.
it's not handled the best way. It kind of feels tacky at times, you know what I mean? It's kind of annoying. But at the same time, once you understand it, it's like, oh, I get it. It's not so bad. But it's definitely different than Civ, but also tied together. And I don't know, I'm kind of rambling at this point, so I'll move on to the third one. Sound.
Oh, you're fine.
I don't know if you can tell. I like this
talk about
game. And I played it a lot. Me and my cousin have played a campaign now. We're on turn 182, and my God, man, I've been playing that a lot. I'll cover that at the end. But so sound though is awesome, man. Like all the songs in it are like the best of all those sci-fi games I've mentioned, and like sci-fi music. Like there's constantly like just like echo and reverb on top of these tracks with like the main one of the main songs you hear is like this chorus going like oh, oh, and it's like just this epic like everything really sells that feeling of like you're in this epic space opera taking care of planets, and it's intergalactic warfare and peace and politics and whatnot, and you know it's really really cool, man. Like it like I've not heard a soundtrack that I ended up looking up and just listening to this much, except for Nier Automata, like, and Nier Replicant.
Ooh.
Like, it's a great soundtrack, and I'm not going to say it's as good as that. I think they're different genres and they kind of do things a little bit differently. But like,
Oh, no, I understand that.
you know, it really is like that space. Like, if you look at the best of space ambient music on YouTube, that's what this soundtrack is. It's so good. And one more thing with the gameplay, I'll backtrack a little bit here, is for the smaller civilizations, unlike in Civ where you're just friends with them and training them, you get sovereignty over them, you can eventually assimilate them so that you don't have to move an outpost out there, and you can end up kind of stealing them from other races by doing that, by making them your friends enough and like putting enough stuff near them. And so like it ends up with like this kind of extra political intrigue, and on top of that, the politics and trading is like you can just put it's called a bureaucratic imbroglio, and what that is you pay a ton of your influence points to basically suddenly have dominance over another side, and you start putting pressure on them politically, and it's like it just happens, and it's really a bunch of crap when it happens to you, because your neighbor is a war-hungry son of a gun that wants you dead, and he just, oh, here's this, and you're like, well, I guess my people will starve. That's fine, but yeah, man, it's great. And the final point I'll make is just the game I've been having with my cousin. Where I started out was like I'm in 1-star system, and it's like, you know, I'm playing the Lumeris. I ended up covering the whole thing. I have the most money in the game. We're basically going to win through economy if like I don't start going to war soon, because I'm just sitting there making money. It's too much at this point. I make like 28,000 a turn, and I was looking at like people playing. They're like, war is so expensive, and their giant fleet costing 3,000 a turn. I'm like, that's adorable. That's so cute, you know, like, and all of that. But like, I'm sitting back and essentially funding him while he goes to war with the other factions, while keeping them outside of my place. And now I'm going to war with my neighbors, and the way I'm doing it is kind of like how China did the whole, you know, the little boats to Japan just as a show, all the little fishing boats. I have so many cheap fleets refilled with people each turn, sending over to my neighbors, that I'm literally starving them out, because it's just money. I just pay it and go forward. And your ships do have to like fill up with population, so you got to let it sit a couple terms. But by the time they're dead and they refill, and I get the new ships over there, you know, I've got another like fleet of like 15 small ships, 10 of those launched over. It's amazing. So
It's like the reverse of a blitzkrieg.
pretty much,
It's
yeah.
not like a bunch of.
I'm basically
it's just
starving out my
a war of
enemies.
attrition.
I'm a jackass, you know, and I love it. I have so much money. I don't have to worry. I literally just sit back. Like my cousin's like, I'm making negative 40 gold a turn. I'm surrounded. What are you doing? And he looks at my screen, and it's just like, just sitting back, like smoking a cigar, you know, just oh yeah, how much money you need? 100K? All right, bet. You know, just send it to him, and it's like, that works. All right, cool. So yeah, that's my week. That's all it's really been, is reading, playing Endless Space 2. Can't recommend it enough.
Space.
And I don't even have all the DLC either. The DLC add entire new things to the gameplay, apparently. Like this one called Supremacy. They look like alien samurai, and they're all about supremacy. And like There's another one that's like there's Celestials that adds hacking to the game, and then another one adds some other political stuff. But according to what I was reading about the company, that's Amplitude Studios, they actually update the game based on like the community feedback, so they develop it with you essentially. And their next game is called Mankind, and it's their take on Civ. And so I'm actually really excited for that. I want to get it when it comes out in April, so that I can have it develop and grow as I play it, you know, based on the feedback. I mean, I really like this company. I really think you guys should look into it if you like Civ.
Oh, for sure. I think it's actually really interesting.
Heck yeah.
I'll definitely be checking it out.
For sure.
Gotta scratch that Civ itch sometimes.
Oh yeah. It'll take you a little bit to get into it, because it's it's a different game, and Civ took a while too, but once it clicks, you'll understand. You'll be like, oh, okay, this is great. But
It's like it.
yeah, that's my week, Andre. I'm gonna pass it on to you. Or are we going Red or Andre?
There it is, boys. There it is, boys. Screw it. We're gonna go red. Screw
Red,
it,
alright.
dudes. But there it is. I just got the new internet on it. Yes.
Good.
Let's go. Let's go.
Alright, well,
Let's go.
how
dude.
was your week, Red?
Hopefully this doesn't. Dude, my week was good, man. So, I got 3 months. I mean, I got a lot I could share, man. I've been soaking in a lot of shit, man. But the 3 that I wanted to really focus on before I start rambling about all the stuff that I've been absorbing is we're gonna start off with freaking solo leveling. And Amani, you put me onto that. You and Wolf put me onto that. And I've been waiting for a long time to talk about that. I've been waiting for a long time. And I'm tying solo leveling in with is it wrong to pick up girls in the dungeon? I don't know if you've seen that anime.
That one's good. I like that one.
Was it a light novel or
It's both.
Have you not?
Obviously, I like that one.
It's both.
It's
Okay.
an anime. It's a light novel. It's like a couple things, honestly.
Yeah, I've watched I've watched season 1 of the anime
Same.
so far.
There's like, I'm waiting for season 2 currently. I know.
Same.
I want to watch the dub for some reason, and that's gonna get a lot of people to be like, "What?" Don't worry, I watched.
You wanna watch the dub?
But like, yeah, I was watching the dub for that. I started it in the dub, so I'm just gonna continue it in the dub. That's how I take all the shows. It's like if I start it in a specific language, I'm just gonna stick to that language. So if I start it in subbed, I'm not gonna jump to the dub. So
Yeah,
My
man,
Hero,
yeah.
I'm
That's
not
weird.
watching it in dubbed. Like I've seen a couple episodes, and I'm
can't.
like, it's good, but I've been watching it in subbed for so long that
I hate My Hero and dub, dude. I can't stand it. I just can't. I don't know why, but every time I hear My Hero and dubbed, I'm just like,
because you're used to the
I
sub.
cringe, dude. I cringe so hard.
like,
But like,
dare you speak
God,
my
they
language.
just, God, man, it sounds so weird to me. They don't sound like the characters that I'm watching on screen. Like I feel like I'm hearing a different person speak through the character instead of the character itself. And I don't know why. That's just how it became when I started. Because I didn't start watching anime on sub. I started watching anime mostly dubbed, but then I started being like, hey, I watch subtitles all the time. Why don't I just watch sub? And then that was an adjustment change. And now for some reason I'm almost solely subbed.
I gotta say,
Almost solely.
one of the funniest ones. I'm gonna mention one of our friends, Aaron. The funniest thing is we were watching Demon Slayer the other day just to mess around, and Davon put it on the Spanish dub just to mess with him, and he was over here losing it, just being like, "Oh, get it off! It sounds so bad. I understand every word. Stop."
It's terrible. Oh no.
It was honestly
no.
genuinely funny. But back to
I couldn't do
you.
it. Yeah, I had solo leveling, Sword Art Online, and Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
Okay.
And all 3 of those, they remind me of Monty, what you talked about recently. The sort of, it's kind of like you're kind of in a game here.
Yeah.
You're kind of in a game here. And so, like with solo leveling, and that being said, Sword Art Online has the huge distinction between the other 2 that it is literally a video game that our main characters are dealing with here, with some real world consequences every now and then. But it's not even every now and then. It's all real world consequences that are dealt with inside of a video game.
Yeah.
Or that are not only dealt with inside of a video game, but the consequences come as of a result of the video game. And that's I think I should start with solo leveling because that's what I've been obsessed with the most. But Sword Art Online is a good place to start off, really, because that we're getting into a lot of advancing technology when it comes to VR right now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, for sure.
I'm not saying like that's some sort of threat, but I am saying someone did come up with that idea, and now we have Sword Art Online, and of course it's a cool story, but like that's something that is going to be incredibly enticing to a lot of people, and I'm not saying yay, can't wait to be like attached to VR, because a lot of people have a theory that GTA 6 is going to be VR. Which would be, can you imagine?
That would be crazy.
Can you imagine if GTA 6 was VR, dude? But I'm honestly, after I played some VR today, I played some PlayStation VR. I wish I had the Oculus, but I played some Concrete Genie, because that's that's free on PS Plus right now, and man, that game is amazing. That game is like legitimately amazing. If you have the VR experience with Concrete Genie, you'll get around to the main game. Mm-hmm. But at least if you're like me, you'll stay in the free painting mode for a while, and you'll be in that world, in the 3D world especially, because all the other ones are 2D. And you're in VR, so you should be in 3D all the time. But you'll just be there, freaking creating the Garden of Eden, man, and it's genuinely beautiful. It's beautiful, and so Sword Art Online, when you get to Alfheim,
awesome.
And it's no longer, what's it, Alcrad or whatever it was, whatever the first world was on Sword Art Online. Once you get to that second one where they have the fairy wings, it's Alcrad, right?
No, Alfheim.
Alfheim. Yeah, that's the second one. I think Ironcrad. That world was incredibly beautiful. So to see how even more beautiful Alfheim was, then that just pulls me into sort of the excitement of where VR is going. But that being said, my overall theme with what I've been absorbing this past week was the theme of being in like a world that's controlled by some system. That's controlled by some system, and you get to manipulate the system. You get to make the system work for you, and get stronger with it. That's why solo leveling has been. If you like action, if you like being able to read action, but see a reader like me, when I'm a very visual person, so I do love comic books, and I do love video games, but I've always loved being able to read how certain authors will describe action, because there are no pictures. There are no pictures in a novel, unless there's words, there's punctuation. So I want to always absorb how people describe action. That being said, solo leveling fits or it satisfied my craving for reading something that was almost purely action, bro. Almost purely action with like, at least to me, solo leveling is mostly action with moments in between that builds upon why there's more action now. Like, and it's constant. Like here's because it starts with, all right, we're in that in between. It actually starts with an in between moment to me. So the story starts with an in between moment to me, where it's just we're about to get to why we have action, and then the beginning of that story, when they get into that secret dungeon, dudes. Look up, if you have not seen the meme yet, just look up solo leveling. Is it Subarashi? Man, just the image of that thing smiling. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm just gonna say that thing.
Was it Sugarashi?
That thing. It's either Subarashi or Sugoi, one of those two. I think I can find it, but it's man. I love to see that.
Oh my
thing.
god!
I really love to see that thing. Yeah, can you see it? Can you see it? Yeah, dude. Look at that thing's face, man.
That's the devil.
Look at that thing.
That's what Lucifer looks
Like
like.
that.
Holy crap.
That is what you're dealing with in this game. In this game. That's because this world is. This is the cool thing about solo leveling is it's the real
Oh
world.
god,
but,
there it is in animation.
Yeah, dude. It's the real world, but it's like these people. At least no. It's not these people. Cool thing about solo leveling is that, at least to me, I think we all live in this world. We all can be a solo leveler like the main character Sung Jin Woo, but it's just really cool to see how this guy goes from being the weakest hunter to being someone who can become infinitely strong. Like he's and that's not a spoiler. Like he tells you that very quickly. He's like, I think I can just keep leveling up. I think I can just, which is why the thing is called solo leveling. The is a mangua?
Yes.
Mangua.
It's a manga.
Yeah.
It's a
So
Korean manga.
yeah, right. So that following that theme of growing stronger, working with the system to grow stronger. Is it wrong to pick up girls in the dungeon? If you've watched that anime, I haven't read the light novel for it, but if you watch the anime, or even if you read the light novel, I'm sure.
It does not have an anime. It just has the webtoon.
Yeah, it does. Is it wrong to pick up girls in the
Oh
dungeon?
no, my bad.
That one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
one.
only has season 1, at least that I've seen. The idea of having like your stats on your back, like tattooed on your back, essentially.
Yeah.
And just
That
being leveling up your skills and getting new skills, and that's really freaking cool, man. That's really freaking cool. And I like to live in a reality where I've got a skill, and I think this is a reality that we all do actually live in. I've got a skill, and I get to level it up. I get to constantly get better. I get to constantly strive to get better. And these three, solo leveling, Sword Art Online, and Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon, I think those are 3 great examples of using your own will and using your drive to be better, to be stronger, to
Like that.
get stronger. Just don't stop. Just don't stop getting better, because why would you stop getting better? Don't ever stop getting better. The characters that you'll see in solo leveling, I think your most intriguing characters will be Sung Jin Woo, obviously he's the main character, Go Gun Hee, I think it's Chai Hei In, and actually everyone in the story is interesting. Everyone in the story is interesting. And I've never come across any story before where every character to me was interesting. Even the characters that die, I'm like, fuck. I really didn't want that character to die, because I wanted to see an interaction between that character and a different character later on. And you'll get that all the time, which is something you'll also kind of see you'll definitely see that in Attack on Titan all the time. Don't get attached to anyone in Attack on Titan.
The Game of Thrones of anime.
Like, don't ever get attached to anyone on Attack on Titan. That's a terrible idea. In fact, just recently, I told my parents not to get. My parents started Game of Thrones. They started Game of Thrones, I think last week. They're on season 6 right now.
Tell them.
And
to
I kept
stop.
telling
Watch
them,
6 seasons
dude,
in a week.
Oh, they watch. They're movie people.
bro.
They watch.
Well, I
parents
think they're
have
going to enjoy it up
that
until the last 2 seasons, so that's all right.
What's,
That's what I told them. That's what I warned
What
them, man.
season should they stop on? Is it
6
specifically
ended at 6.
6?
Yeah,
They're
season
at
1
6
through
right
6.
now.
It's literally the best show on television.
Just tell them to stop.
They're
at
at 6 right now, and
And wait for
I
books.
think they're almost done. Wait for the
No,
books.
I'm on it.
Yes.
I'm on it.
Wait for
I'm
the
on it.
books.
He was supposed to finish it. He goes, I wrote hundreds and hundreds of pages last year, and hopefully this year I'll finish. Bro, he's like 77 and diabetic, man. He's not finishing. Somebody else is going to have to write it, and the last 2 books are supposed to be 3,000 pages a pop, all right?
Look.
Oh,
I'm
good.
not
Fever
wishing-
dream.
No way.
I'm not wishing the man
3,000
death, but I'm
pages.
just saying
Wow.
it's better than
Wow.
getting the bad end. That is.
That's
the
true,
8th
that's true.
season.
I mean,
But at least you get an end.
I feel.
At least you get an end.
But it's.
It may not be a good end. It may have been one of the worst ends in filmmaking and TV making history. But man,
It has to.
at least I got to.
oh,
see
it doesn't
something.
have to be, Amani. It is. It simply is.
It like I'm mentioning, it has to be because it's like at least with like things like Lost or something like that, people still talk about how like certain parts of Lost is really good and continue to like Lost is mentioned and things like that. Well, if you've noticed, Game of Thrones sort of dropped off the. No one talks about Game of Thrones anymore. Specifically because
no one talks
of how
about Game of Thrones at all.
It was just like nope.
But Lost, you can theorize.
They, like
Lost
I swear it was because they had the opportunity to go do the Disney Star Wars, and then they were like, oh, we're just
that's
gonna rush
exactly
and then
why
Disney was like, yeah, we can't like associate with you after that.
That's exactly why. No one can tell me otherwise. Not even D&D themselves.
They were
can't tell
offered
me.
2 more seasons to
Nah,
finish.
Yeah, they could. Oh man, I wish it was great. But yeah, anyways, those are my 3. I mean, I've got so many more, but those are the 3 I've consumed the most. And those are things that I have been consuming for a while, so I can't really say I've been absorbing those the past week, but I definitely jumped back on them the past week just to keep it fresh, because man, those are 3 things worth jumping back and forth between, I think. Like especially those 3 things. And Ramani, what'd you say? Room of Swords.
Room of Swords definitely has that same theme.
Yeah, like definitely like read those, watch those, whatever you may be able to do, just consume those, because you'll find a spark within yourself that you might not have known was there before. Simply because you want to be there. And then wanting to be there that much. At least maybe you don't want to be in solo leveling, because
it's pretty rough in solo
if you're not an awakened in solo leveling, I mean dude. And even if you are awakened in solo leveling, man, that's tough. That's tough to be in that world. It's tough.
It's not a good time.
It's tough, man. People are, man, you're dealing with things that want to kill you and don't know why. So
feel a strong desire to murder you.
They have a strong desire to end you in every way, for there to be nothing left but your blood, and maybe not even that, bro. So
like, I don't even know
it's tough to be there, but if you were there, you would want to be awakened and you would want to be powerful. So make yourself that here. Make yourself that here, whatever the cost, bro. Get off of Instagram. Get off of Instagram. You've been on Instagram for 6 hours. Go outside and just pretend that you are one of these hunters that they're called in solo leveling. Go slay some monsters, man. Go slay some freaking monsters. Go help some old lady across the street. Cause you're a freaking nation level hunter. Isn't that what it's called?
I believe
so. when you're just unbelievably OP in that story. God, man.
The other one I wanted.
Paul, have you read Solo Leveling? You need to read Solo Leveling, man. God, man.
I wanted to mention one thing about something you mentioned earlier about how like you enjoy every character. That is how
man.
I feel about 13 Sentinels. Like every single character's plotline, because this is an ensemble cast kind of thing, always comes back to me being like, I freaking love this character. This dude's awesome. Or this chick is awesome. It's like one character. There's only one character, and the reason why I don't like him is not even because I played a story. I bet you after I play a story, I'll like him. But I've seen him in everybody else's story, and I'm like, forget this man, bro.
So it's one of those.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see his side of it, and
I have absolute faith that like when I play a story, I'll actually become more of a fan of him. But like as far as I've known him from everyone else's story, I'm just kind of like, don't like you. I don't like you one bit. In some stories, he actively gets in the way of people, and not like in a clumsy way. Wow. He's like, nah, man, I can't let you go through. Like he's guarding you from information that this character needs, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna slide you. Just give me one chance. Give me one chance to slide him.
They're making me want to play this game more and more.
Oh, dude, 13.
Yeah, he told me about it. It's
you would genuinely love it. You both of you.
I'm gonna get it on PS4 pretty soon. I'm gonna put it. What genre is it under? What would you?
It is both a visual novel and
right
a strategy game at the same time.
Okay.
So it does have strategy missions
game.
where you are kind of XCOM in it a little bit, like I mentioned before. On not a grid. It's not on a grid-based system. It's really interesting because it's each of your Sentinels. They're all mechs. They move differently. Like there's a certain type of generation that moves differently. So one of them can fly, and usually you walk along street level, but your enemies are not restrained to this. So like some of them come through the streets because they go through on street level, like they're little tanks or whatever, and others will be like flying around, much like how you do. And the idea is usually to defend this specific area, but all your characters, you can't let any of your pilots die. Is the deal. Like they can be taken down, but like you have very limited amount of them. Like they are all important, so having them die is kind of like, wow, you really messed up. You just let him die, didn't you? Like, that's kind of crazy. But most of the story is told through like this point and click almost adventure-esque thing, which is a kind of the visual novel aspect. It's also done in a very painterly art style. If you've ever seen Dragon's Crown, because this is by Vanillaware, which is probably has like one of the best art styles in all of the games just in general.
I'm a big fan of The Witch.
If you ever see, they're actually a lot tamer in this game. But it's fine because they still got a character that's just that is that. And I will also admit this, it's funny because that character is interesting. In every Vanillaware game, they pretend like those weird proportions are just fine, like no one pays attention to it, it's just normal. In 13 Sentinels, this is the only character in which every other character is like that sees her is kind of like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, what is happening here? And most of them are high school students, so like you see her and it's just kind of like, yeah, like there's no way you would not see that if you were a high school student. Well, someone actually mentions at some point, is like, is that woman a teacher? If so, how does any of the male students pay attention, bro? I don't understand.
Wow.
He's like, I don't understand. I'm like, all right. So they know. They went out of their way to point it out. But that is definitely one of those games. Also, the other reason why I like this character as well is because I know what team he's on. Like, I know who he's working with. And low-key, I'd rather play as every other person on that team, but none of them are playable. It's like, that's the other thing about it. It's nothing against him. It's just that every other person on that team he's on are so much cooler. I'd rather be playing as any of them, and then they're like, nah, you get him. I'm like, damn it. Of course we gotta get him.
Can't stand it. You get forced to choose
But
the character you don't want.
it's a dope ensemble cast, though.
This art style looks amazing, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's
I've never
really
seen something
good.
like this before.
They do a great job of doing 2D stuff and doing things with layers that make it look like 3D. But none of it is 3D. It's all 2D art. And it's just really cool.
13
Like,
Sentinels.
I cannot recommend 13 Sentinels enough. It is probably the most slept on game of 2020. I'm trying to change that right now.
Right.
It's like, but if that does it for everybody's weeks, so to speak.
Yeah, that does it for me, man.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna
When
move
it
on
can
to the
be.
news. There's some interesting stuff that's been happening recently, as far as this goes. So, just to let our viewers know, the news section is pretty self-explanatory, but we'll try to look up stuff that happens throughout the week or so that we've been talking. We'll just go ahead and see what's happening, talk about the subject specifically. They don't inherently know everything that's coming out on this docket. I know what's on this docket. We'll definitely try to explain as much as possible, but I definitely want like first reactions to some of this stuff too. You guys are also like, just throw that out there, allowed to just throw stuff to me. If you see something that should be newsworthy, just be like, yo, throw it on the docket, we'll talk about it. But one of the ones I wanted to start off with, just to mess around with, it's not really a news thing, but something I definitely saw that I was like, this is kind of crazy. So Canadian ads are wild. Like, some of them are just kind of crazy. And I'm going to send 2 of them, like, your guys' way. But for a fact, I was messing around one day and just kind of caught a glimpse of this. I was like, what is this? Like, how do you make an ad like this? And who is it for?
It's a Canadian ad.
Yeah, they're Canadian ads. Like, some of them are just kind of like, Paul would probably like get a kick out of seeing these because they're like visual. They're honestly visual trips. It's like, and for our podcast viewers, I'll throw these onto our Twitter just so that you guys can see. Just makes sense. You guys should probably check them out as well. But I caught a glimpse of 2 of these and was just like, that's kind of, it's a strange one.
real quick, how are you going to show us the? Oh, okay, they're there. I was about to say I
they're going on
got to
Discord.
go on the actual Twitter at some point.
Oh
My
no,
bad.
you're gonna worry.
Yo.
He's like, I'll just toss them up into our.
Oh God, it's so loud.
Yo, now I'm curious to see if this ad I saw for a bicycle was Canadian because
Yes. If you
is that
that's
Canadian?
The second one. That's the second one.
Oh my god, dude, that ad was fire,
That
bro.
means you've seen it before.
Yo, I was like, yo, I don't. What show is this? Bicycle. What?
What is happening right
Dude, I almost wish I didn't say anything because now I spoiled what it's actually for. And like, I don't even know what this is for. Actually, what is this for?
Oh, this one's.
Bro,
This has
what
something
is
to do
this
with
ninja
grocery.
one? This
Okay.
is amazing.
That's the bike.
Bro, that's the bike one.
That's
man.
for a bike?
You gotta watch.
Yes.
You said this is Canadian.
Yeah, these are Canadian ads, bro.
You sure this isn't Japanese?
I'm pretty confident. It was on.
I remember it. I
That's
remember-
where
yeah,
found
yeah,
it
yeah.
originally. I'm like,
No, he's absolutely right. It is Canadian.
This
I
is
remember
Canadian?
someone saying that this
What?
ad was Canadian. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Why is this not an anime yet?
Because it's an ad for a bike.
Bro,
There's
Make it-
blood in
make
this
a
ad for
show.
a bike, dude.
Deadass, that's what
I
I'm
just
saying.
watched this man cut someone's head in half. This is a bicycle. No, this is a show, dude. No, they don't get to have
thing
this
was
greatest
ad
bike ad.
for their
All right, let me
product.
watch the
Look
other
at-
one now.
It was the greatest bike I've ever seen. That's how I felt too. I was like, what?
Bro, what
I
is
feel like
this
you
other
lost the
one?
entire concept of a bike.
See,
That one is.
why can't we have ads like this here, man?
That's the
This
question.
is so
right?
cool. I would
If
absolutely
anybody's
buy this in a
viewing-
heartbeat. I'd be like, spend all my money. Let's get some vitamins.
If anybody is viewing this from Canada, please let us know why we can't get ads like this.
Actually,
And if so,
Please let us know why we can't get shows like this. We
That's-
need your talent.
That's true.
You know what? No,
No
don't come over here.
frills, won't
I'll go
be
over
beat.
there.
Wow.
Apparently, we have better cartoons though. I don't know how that works.
Better cartoons?
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
just have
surprised.
better
Wait, hold on,
cartoons
hold
over
on. Oh, we have better cartoons?
He's like,
Really?
so, like, there's just shows that are in America that they're genuinely like, yo, this is pretty good, and it's just not
What, like
here.
Steven Universe or something? Steven Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Universe is amazing. I haven't even watched Steven Universe.
Gumball and things of that nature. It's just like this is
Absolutely.
really good. And
Yeah, dude.
apparently you guys can't get them over there. Let us know if you're in Canada and
Oh,
you finally
no.
are able to get some of these amazing cartoons. Or
Do you guys better use a VPN and start watching
Dude,
these?
Gumball's such a
Yes.
good show, man.
Gumball's a great show.
My favorite, and I know it's like a well-known one, but my favorite is still when he has the power of like he's like, did you just let me check your privilege? And it like sends out the shot.
Yes,
I just wanted you to like, I just wanted to sit with you. Oh, did you just assume? Like, it's the best episode I've ever seen.
That show,
That
man.
show's,
that show
commentary
is
was
brilliant
on
in
point.
every way it needs to be.
it's
It's
is.
brilliant,
They did a
dude.
great job. They got away with
They're
a lot of stuff, and I don't
absolutely-
know how.
They,
That's a lot.
because we all know it's the truth.
It was
we
the,
don't want
the
someone
early
to say
phase
it.
of the PC culture. They could get away with more.
Another
Dude,
one is the release of this game, the stealth release of this game that I want to point out to a lot of people, for those who are a fan of rhythm games, called Friday Night Funkin'. This game honestly stealth dropped not too long ago. It's been a while now at this point, but it's like not too long ago. If you can give it a shot, it seems like one of the harder like rhythm games I've seen. Some people might actually have like a really easy time, like, yo, this is cake. Wait, that's you. You got rhythm games on lock. I feel you. Good job. Keep up your grind. But
What's
me,
it called?
this looks crazy. It's also like has a really fire soundtrack because I ended up listening to it a lot recently, and I've just been enjoying it. But I wanted to mention it because it got stuff dropped and it's free. So they also have like a donate button and everything like that. So like for a free game to drop that is this good, I just want to say go ahead and check it out, guys. Like by all means, give it a shot. That's Friday Night Funkin'. I can let you guys probably send. I don't have a link for you guys on that one. If you guys want to look it up just to see what it's about,
look
but
it up
it's kind of funny. I
Yes,
like the little
please.
art style it's got, honestly.
Friday
You can
Night
also-
Funkin'. Yes, everybody, I have a very loud keyboard. I apologize.
It's okay. I love the clicking.
Thank you for the vape.
It works for me.
It's very satisfying. I'm not gonna lie.
Right?
Honestly,
That is
Can't
until
wait
it's
to get a
like
keyboard that loud.
really loud in your ears and it's It gets old quick. But okay, I've seen
Right.
people playing this.
Exactly. Yeah. It got stealth dropped.
Bro, it's like
And it's just kind of a cool game.
it's like Dance Dance
People should
Revolution
check out.
meets like Parappa the Rapper almost. Is what it looks like.
Exactly. It's genuinely
That's
kinda
actually
fun.
brilliant.
I really like its art style.
It's an ugly
next
but
on
clean
this?
art style.
I haven't played a rhythm game in a long time,
Give
dude.
that one a shot.
A long time.
But
Man,
next
I
up-
think the last rhythm game I played was freaking Billy and Mandy.
Next up, we got to talk about this because this needs to be talked about at least once because there's no way we can get over this. Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh no! He brought it out. I thought we were gonna.
I liked
we
it
can't skip
a
over
He
lot.
hit the
I
big
just,
one.
Well, see, I played it on PC, so like, you know what I mean. I don't really get to say much here, but
See, I was smart. All right, you played it on PC. Amani, I think, played it on console,
Yeah,
and
I
I
played
didn't
PS4.
play it.
Didn't
So,
even get it.
ha ha! Because I was like, I'm not going. It's a new game. It is a new game, and it has been hyped up. I not getting it.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it. At least, not freaking drop day. Not the day it drops. Because it had been in development for so freaking long, and it was being delayed so many times. I was like, yo, something, spider sense is tingling. This is going to go wrong some way, man. And sure enough, CD Projekt Red, freaking PlayStation takes it off the freaking store. It's that bad. Or at least it's that buggy. Whatever the complications were ultimately.
well, they did that for.
I've
it
seen a
was
lot of
timed
different
exclusive
videos.
thing so that they could.
Seen a lot of different tweets, a lot of different articles, a lot of different people saying, yo, this is what I experienced. A lot of different people showing what their game does.
Yeah.
People, quote unquote, exposing the game. Man, I feel really bad for this dude.
Well, there was like
How long was this game?
there was a
Really
there was a
bad.
huge article about like why the game failed or whatever essentially, and it was like one of their like private or like somebody that works for them like spoke to somebody or something like that, and it was essentially as they were developing the engine to stream all the assets in, it was designed for solid state drives. And it wasn't fully like made for hard drives, like normal ones, right?
Oh.
And so they were developing that while they made the game. They decided to make it first person, like just a few years back. All the development time on the demo was wasted time they could have spent developing it, and they thought it was going to come out in 2022. But then the CEOs and shit were like, "Oh yeah, no, we're going to release it this year." So that released them into just a
man.
perpetual state of the grind to update, and that's where all the glitches come from, is because it's streaming all this data at an inefficient rate to like, mother of God, that hurt, to render everything out, you know, and so the game just doesn't work. So they had to like make all those cuts to get the game out on time, and now they're gonna add it back in. It's just an
no,
unfortunate
dude.
story.
It really
That's
is.
Corporate
sucks,
greed, man.
So many people were looking forward to that game, and I know CD Projekt Red was looking. They were even more excited than I was to play the game, to release the
Yeah.
game, dude. Can you imagine? That was their baby, bro. They
really
were so
was.
excited to release that game. They had Keanu Reeves on freaking stage.
Yeah.
They had
Keanu Reeves, go on stage.
Bro,
Go on stage.
the
The honest,
Show a game, dude.
What's up?
the
Please.
saddest part, honestly, about that game is that it is genuinely like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 game. Or even
Oh,
a 10 out
good,
of 10.
man.
Like,
Not 10 out of 10.
genuinely story-wise and everything, it's really
Not
good.
to okay.
It's just it has a plethora of problems.
Yeah.
And even now they're trying to fix it and they just can't fix everything.
Mhm.
Oh
They're
no. dude.
trying.
Bro, the romance sucked.
Okay, so
I'm not even trying to be
as a player,
a weird person, but like
Oh,
when
yeah,
I got
the
with
romance
Pan
is
Am, I
awesome.
expected to be with Pan Am. I didn't expect what I got. I don't want to spoil it for people, but like, you know what I mean?
what sucked?
What's up?
So the aroma sucked. Is
The
that what you
romance,
said?
the romance. Yeah,
The
no,
romance.
Like, you get,
Romance?
like, with Pan Am. This
There's
character
romance in
who,
that
if you
game?
played the
Yeah,
game,
but barely.
you know exactly what I'm saying. It didn't go the way you wanted, and then you can go back to this
Wow.
person and be just like, "I love you," and she's like, "Oh, I miss you and love you too." But then there's no option to like consummate that. It's just like, "Oh," and then you go back to
Oh,
playing the
that's
game.
weird,
It's like,
man.
well, maybe I want to, hit up Bay and have some alone time, for research via video games.
Hey man,
Their research
look,
process.
dude. They advertised that game as this is your world to do
Yeah.
whatever in.
Oh,
I at least expected to be doing that.
Yeah.
I expected to at least be given the option to do that. So as a player, a gamer rather, who has not played the game, and you guys have played the game on 2 different platforms, would you recommend the game at all right
Absolutely.
now? And if you would, what platform? You would recommend the game now?
Yeah.
I would recommend it on PS5 specifically,
Okay.
or PC.
I agree.
Those two,
Or PC.
depending on how good your PC obviously is.
Okay.
But on those 2 platforms, the game runs actually really smoothly.
It didn't at first, but they've made it better. Yeah.
Yeah, the glitches obviously will come in as they do. Just don't know how often that will be for you.
From what I've noticed, it's not as severe as consoles because like the PC infrastructure and the solid state drive and everything, it just works better on PC for some reason.
and that's why it works on PS5.
Yeah. And
because
before
that's the
anybody
whole deal
listens
with
to this, is like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. You can go to hell. I'm just talking. So don't come in here with that crap. We're just having a conversation here.
Well, I have not yet gotten a PS5, and I have not yet built my PC. I
You got a
refuse to
PS5?
buy a Best Buy PC. No, I do not. I have a Gen 1 PS4.
Oh, good. Stick
No,
with that.
But-
that won't work. That will not
Yeah, I
work.
know that no.
That will not work.
No, but I've yet to build that PC. I've yet to buy that PS5. So, man, listen. I have wanted to just do whatever I want in a futuristic world for a long time. For a long time, I've wanted to do that, and I never got the chance to do that. When I felt like it could have been done.
This got
But
very
now-
close, but it's still.
It's gotten close.
Yeah.
I'll take
It's-
close. I'll take close over nothing.
It got very close. Cause the character you play as is V. You do play as a specific character, but it does let you. Well, obviously you make your own character and like you can roleplay to an extent, so you can do some really fun stuff. But as far as I'm
Okay.
concerned, this is the close we've gotten with a sci-fi one.
Yeah.
But we've definitely gotten a lot closer with like fantasy
Yeah.
ones, like in general.
Yeah.
Basically, like what we're waiting on now with these big updates and what the free DLC is this time around is probably just missing content. So it's like the tram system, an actual good working police system. Okay, houses. I would like to buy a mansion. All right. If you're not going to
Wait.
give me that and I'm a corpo, then what the hell did I choose corpo for? You know?
You can't buy.
I should be
it.
owning
this
But
city.
I understand you do get some. Like
They're like,
through
What
some
can you
quests,
do in
do
this
get
game?
houses. Like there are other ways to.
I
get
mean,
houses.
yeah, but
You
it's
get them
like-
through like a lot of your other stuff.
I have like a motel. I've got a shack with Pan Am. I've got my house. It's not enough. I want a mansion. I want to be able to go and buy one. And
There's one specific.
change the
person
color
you
of
get
my
a mansion
car,
from.
you
just
know?
gotta chill with them. That's true. They do not have like. car
so they're
customizations.
hopefully going to add all that stuff in. But then
This game doesn't have car
hopefully,
customization.
there's big DLCs and patches.
They do give you a ton of cars, but
Yeah.
they are like unique specific cars, not like.
Man, that's
So there's like no car customization, but like every car you get is like something special.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? Like you get it from a specific place.
man. It feels weird for GTA 5 to have car customization.
And this one doesn't. Yeah.
And this one
Cyberpunk.
doesn't.
It's
does
the other
not
thing
have
too
car
is like, and hopefully
customization.
with big DLC they add it. Is just I would like to be able to affect the world more. It never feels like. I mean, you like hear some people say you're doing stuff, man, or like whatever, and people know you, but it never feels like The Witcher where it's like these huge impacts. It kind of just feels like, yeah, man, I'm in this world, I'm doing this stuff, yeah. You know.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't reflect like the style. Like I chose Corpo, right? Monty, you chose Street Kid, right?
No, I chose Cobra.
Okay, gotcha. No,
Sorry,
Pele
it's
chose
Corpo
Street
as
Kid.
well.
That's right. And it's like it never really feels like you're playing that stuff. It kind of just feels like you just have some more options. Like if I'm the Corpo, right, I should be able to build my way back up and have a Corpo set of like missions where I join. Good God, my arm is jiggling. I got to work out again. It's been a couple weeks. Anyways, you know what I mean? Like I want to be able to work my way back up to the top and make a lot of money and get like a passive income and maybe even like a stock market. I mean, I know that's like maybe too ambitious, but I want to feel like I'm part of that, you know, or like I came for that. I'm part of
Yeah.
it. This, it just feels like I'm in the world doing stuff for the main story and some side missions, you know. And they could definitely add it later, get some DLCs and whatnot. But man, it's missing a
There
lot
is
of
a
pieces.
multiplayer coming.
Yeah,
And I'm wondering
2022.
how that's going to be playing.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
what I was
Multiplayer
talking
coming?
about.
Hmm.
Is
in
it- so
2022.
maybe by the time that they finish adding a lot of the stuff that they want to add, that will be at a better place.
Well,
I recommend, like I said, I recommend the game on specific things, but like other than that, like if you're looking for like the most immersive experience ever, like I don't think you'll find that.
we basically bought
that's
an
what I was
alpha.
excited
I
for.
hate to
Okay.
say that, but it's true. Like,
Yeah,
game's not done. It's really good, but it's just not done. And the cool thing is, though, you know, in the next 2 years of updates and DLC and stuff, it could be a potentially new game. They're going to No Man's Sky it, and that's fine. I mean, I hate to say that, but
Cyberpunk next. Let's go.
Cyberpunk is
Okay.
gonna be
because No Man's
Cyberpunk's
Sky
gonna be
now
next
is
No Man's
phenomenal.
Sky.
I don't care what anybody says. Like, oh, it's boring.
Oh no, you're
Set
right.
your own
It's-
objectives.
It's actually super good. If you wanted a game in which it's for me personally, it's basically like Minecraft in space.
Yeah,
That is what that is.
that's what it became, man. It's so good.
Yeah. Which is not like I might turn some people off, but it's like there's a lot going on with that idea. Honestly, the idea that you can fly between planets and stuff like that and build your
Bro,
own
being
stuff,
able to
I
buy
think it
your own
honestly
like
is,
freight ships or whatever, like the big like giant frigates and store your ships, like that was a game changer for me. I was like, oh god.
They did some really cool stuff with that game. If you haven't gone back to No Man's Sky, I would highly recommend at least trying it out again. It's not something I'm constantly playing, but I can recognize when someone's done good work, and that's definitely a game that like they went above and beyond to make sure that it's like, hey, look, we may have messed up, but all we're gonna do is we're gonna shut up and get it done. Like it didn't launch in the state that we meant it to, but it's gonna be in the state that we want it to by the time we're done with it. So, and that's what they did. So if that's what's happening with Cyberpunk, so be it. I hope they can get there because No Man's Sky did a great job, and I just want CD Projekt Red to at least by the end of this have like some form of like good graces, at least for like the developer's sake, because they had been working like specifically the people that were developing that game have been working so hard in that game, and
Yeah.
you know for a fact that they're super disappointed with how this came out because they didn't want to release it like this.
I honestly, though, I hate to say it, you know, this may be skeptical. I think this is just how it's going to be from now on, no matter how much people hate it. Because, like, think about it. Consoles kind of set, like, the bar where games are going to be at for the next, like, 8 years or whatever, right? And, unfortunately, we have all these physics, all these things going into games now. It takes a lot more time to develop it, but you got to release it on schedule so you can make your profit margin. So I think, unfortunately, we're just going to see more games release and then get patched and get better by like a skeleton team. And because, you know, you got to be able to keep releasing and make the money. And even if you spend 8 years on something, if it's not going to be profitable, it's not going to be worth it in the end. It's like a sad reality of what gaming's gotten to. But then also, like, there is hope, but it's just the infrastructure is going to change. It's kind of like the stock market with GameStop and Dogecoin and all that, but I don't want to talk about that here. That's a whole nother thing.
GameStop was hilarious. That situation is just funny to me.
Oh, fun fact about that, a bunch of the hedge fund guys, they were like, we're going to short sell it, make all this money, or like short the stock. And then the Reddit dudes were like, nah, screw you. Yeah, there's been like 4 or 5 suicides from like major hedge fund dudes. Like, they owe so much fucking money because of this. Yeah, dude. I swear to God, like, that's what my cousin was telling me. I was like, oh, this is a messed up situation.
I'm gonna be real. to be completely honest, like, don't get me wrong, people dying is honestly like that's a bad. No matter how you look at it, that's people. That's a bad.
Yeah.
People are killing themselves, but
the guy's playing the system.
All the other hedge fund guys that came out and didn't kill themselves, you don't have my sympathies, because it's like, okay, I'm so sorry for you with your hundreds of thousands of dollars, of millions of dollars that you might have already using to cheat the system in some way anyway. You were banking on a company falling, and when that company fell, a bunch of people would be losing their jobs. And albeit, it's not the best company. I'm not going to sit here and say GameStop's the greatest. They're actually pretty crappy. And personally, it probably would have been better if they died. But
It took
at the same time, you honestly you were banking on the failure of a company and people going under and losing their jobs. The idea that happened to you in return because you wanted to make bank off the fact that they would fail, there's like a little tiny twisted pleasure in that, where it's just kind of like, oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo,
I
rich
agree, but
people.
I disagree. Imagine you've spent your whole life making hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Or like you've worked your way up to that, and then you lose it all because a bunch of Reddit bastards were like, oh, we're gonna play the system. Like,
But that's the stock
I think it's
market.
just.
You literally-
I mean, it is, but like, bro, that much lost that quickly. That's. I actually I can't help but feel a little bit of sympathy for that. That sucks.
I feel a little bit bad, but like to the degree that they're going after Reddit, being like, you're manipulating the stock market. And I'm like, you mean the thing that you guys were doing the whole time, technically,
Well,
just
kinda, yeah.
with less companies behind it? He's like, and it's not even manipulating the stock market in that way. It's just these people getting together and being like, I want to buy stock in GameStop. Yeah, I like GameStop. Yeah, why not?
It's less manipulating the stock market and more playing the stock market.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the common man does not play the stock market. That's why that gets to be the rich man's game. It's always been the rich man's game. So the moment that the common man starts, and this is the problem with society. This is the problem fundamentally with society. There shouldn't be a rich man's game. Because when the poor man starts to play the game, or the average man starts to play the game, because they deserve the amount of money that the rich man is making, then the rich man gets to suffer because all the things that the rich man has, he doesn't have the money to pay for it anymore. Or he doesn't have the ability to pay back what he needs to. And I'm not trying to create a world in which what you strive for and your efforts are not important.
Yeah.
But I am saying that there is a certain philosopher who people should be reading about, and what he sort of prescribes as to what society should do or could do, what the best way to go about it, that I think people should look into. And I'm not going to say who the philosopher is. I'm not going to say what it's called, because the search for figuring this philosopher out and finding his works should lead you to a lot of other philosophers and their works that you need to be reading anyways.
You gotta say
but
the name.
simply put, man, I'm not saying it at all. Find him.
That's such a vague thing. Like, there's 20 million that we can
No,
look
it's
up.
not.
At least give
it's
a
not,
keyword
because
for
it's
the audience
not.
attempt.
It's not
Marxism,
because
socialism,
I'm talking
what do you got?
specifically. No.
Oh, look, I am gonna just say this simply.
All right.
I disagree with you there. I'm a capitalist through and through. However, I do think that
How
I
are you
like
gonna disagree when I haven't even
opportunities for
said
more
what I was
people,
talking
'cause
about?
The market can grow.
No, because I didn't actually say what I was talking about. I just said that the philosopher said that he prescribed something that the common man should be going with, that society should be going with. I haven't prescribed anything for you to disagree with. What I'm telling you is, go read every philosopher that you can find, and what they I will let people know once people have said, hey, is it this, is it this, is it this. After that, then I will let people say, I'll say it's that or it's not that. Because I'm tired of people going around this world with opinions, and they haven't done any research or any reading to base that opinion on.
I got you.
They're doing all these. It's my opinion that such and so should have suffered, and it's their right to have suffered because they screwed over the common man. It's my right for the common man to believe that the common man should have everything that the rich man has. I think it's you guys' right to shut the hell up and focus on what you need to be doing for yourself, because that's how we get to this game of rich man versus Redditors, and that's why we have people die, because you have been in this position for too long, and that's only because the Redditors and the rest of society have allowed these people to be in position for too long. See, that's why I read Solo Leveling. That's why I read is it wrong to pick girls in the dungeon? That's why I read Sword Art Online, because that's all about, hey, take back your life.
He's like, you're in charge of that.
Take back your
Do your
life.
thing.
I agree.
What do you know about the stock market? You know that the government runs on things like that. What do you know about it? You don't know enough. Go learn about that. I've played DC Universe Online. Dude, the broker game, the game developers literally had to they had to go in and essentially shut down the broker. Like, it's an MMO. Part of MMOs are you going into the broker and selling what you have, what you gained by playing the game, to other people who might need that don't have that, because they have to play it over and over and over again for the RNG. But the broker system in DC Universe Online was absolutely terrible, because there were people who were able to get things and charge money that you usually will not ever see in your account, no matter how many characters you have. And because they charge that much money, like, in order to deposit it in the broker, you have to have more than the money that you were depositing it for. So, no, you have to have, not more, you have to have, say you deposited something for $1 billion. You'll be, or like you're trying to sell something for $1 billion. You'll have to deposit something like something like some million, like some $500,000 or something like that.
Had to reach
It's a
the
lot of
threshold or
money.
something.
So yeah, so like you're looking at people who are putting up things for amazingly large prices, which means they have even more money. And people like me who will never see that amount of money because I can't sit down in front of this game and wait for the rarest things in the game to randomly go to the cheapest price that I can buy it and then flip it for like $2 billion in this game. That's how the world works. At least that's what government works like in America. And so if developers have to go into a game and say, yeah, we got to fix this because it's kind of breaking our game and it's making people quit the game, how much longer will mankind allow a 1% or a 0.2% to exist? The higher the economic gap, or the wider the economic gap between the rich and the poor gets, the more people are going to just see the world crumble around their feet and their ears. So just do what you need to do. Do you. I don't know how I got on this tangent, but God, man.
It's all good.
GameStop stock. Can you imagine? GameStop stock. Why didn't we do this for Blockbuster?
I don't know.
Blockbuster
I feel
video.
like
Why didn't we do this for
totally
Blockbuster?
We didn't have.
I would have loved to
Robinhood
have saved
and whatnot back
Blockbuster.
then.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
true.
That and
God,
we didn't
man.
have as many people like learning about finances. I think
There's
honestly,
one less Blockbuster in the world too. That's what's crazy.
honest to God, man,
Is there one?
I think if more people took the time to learn about money, something they don't teach you in school, I think we would have a
Yeah.
lot less wealth gaps, and there would be more everyday millionaires and things like that.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
But
because
Freaking Toys R Us, man. I would have bought
but
Toys
that's
R Us
another
if I could.
discussion.
Same. But
Toys R Us?
Toys R Us shouldn't have left.
Toys R Us
just
shouldn't have
chilling
left,
in
bro.
Canada right now. That's what, just chilling in Canada. Like, when we was looking for PS5s, me and my friend Joyce, he mentioned that he was on Toys R Us' site looking for it, and I was like, Toys R Us? That still exists? Like, and I went and looked, and I'm like,
Wow.
it's Toys R Us Canada. They still exist
Toys
in
R Us
Canada.
Canada.
They just don't exist here anymore. Toys R Us
That
is
hurts.
out here. Canada seems to be just holding things on lock. I noticed that. You guys are doing good over there, I guess.
Love you guys.
Still got your Toys R Us. I was like, but next on this list is Genshin Impact. Honestly, they most recently released Ganyu and Xiao. I don't know if you guys have been playing it. For those that haven't and don't know about it, this is a gacha game that is, in my opinion, the most best way to describe it is the most worth it to get into. A lot of them kind of boil down to getting JPEGs or sprites of something, and not bad. Don't get me wrong; they're fun games. They're like usually RPGs, but this one is like a game that is, and this is more so for the viewers than anywhere else. But this one's more so like a game that's Breath of the Wild. But when you summon for these characters that you get, they are fully fleshed out characters with movesets, voice lines. You run around and move about the world with them. So like a part of me is kind of like, that's kind of just a little bit more worth it than just having a guy that just stands there and like doesn't attack when you want him to, I guess. Because like, you got a fully fleshed out character that moves around in a video game now, as opposed to a sprite that's chilling there and sometimes he does a thing, or they create like a 2D animated cutscene real quick that just happens sometimes. It's like, so, but they recently released Xiao, who is easily the most anticipated character in the game. He was originally supposed to be at launch, but he didn't come out. Mainly because during the beta he was broken, so he needed time to be fixed. And by broken, I mean that man was broken. Like, he just destroyed things that he shouldn't have destroyed so easily. And they looked at that and was like, we gotta fix that. And he was like, he shouldn't be able to solo bosses that quickly. So, he's easily one of the coolest characters as well in the game. And that's saying something, because this is a game full of pretty interesting looking characters. If you ever get a chance, just look up Genshin Impact Xiao.
Okay. Shoot, I'll look at it right now.
Yeah, he was definitely meant to be. He was in all the initial trailers and everything for the game as well. He was supposed to be at launch, and it was like, it just wasn't happening because of certain restraints with him. But he's finally out. You can summon for him. Those who have been looking forward to that can now partake in that. Is the edgelord known as Xiao. He's just gonna mention he's real quickly. He's a really nice DPS. He's still a DPS. They just decided we're not gonna get rid of that part that he can just do certain things. But they definitely toned him down a little bit so that he's not obliterating bosses in a single 40 seconds. And it's like, which I'm kind of like, I think that's fair. I think I kind of want to play the game too. I don't want to just destroy everything I run into. But that's just one that's come out. I know you guys. I know Andre was looking into Genshin for a little while. I'm still getting on it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. I've downloaded it. I just need to really get going.
Yeah, Leon got into it as well recently.
Oh God.
Who got into it?
Yeah, he got into it.
How much money has he spent so far?
You'd have to ask them that because I don't know.
I know Leon says that he would if he gets into a game like that, he will obsess over it.
Yeah, he's finally into it. So that's happening.
That's good.
All right.
Man. It's a very from the look of the game. Because I've started it up, I just haven't really played it much. I'm not sure what I'm really doing, but it looks pretty. And that's a plus in my book already.
It does have a pretty decent story. It just updates itself every so often.
You said Xiao was an edgelord?
Yep, Xiao was an edgelord. As far as I'm concerned, he's cool. He's one of the cool ones because it's tortured past and everything like that. But he's cool. He gets a cool Yasha mask. He's got the demon thing going on. He's a cool spear user. His plunge attack is ridiculous.
This looks great, man.
I
love spear users. I like Lancer.
Oh, you'll love him.
And
it's pretty cool.
Fate Stay Night. God, man, this guy looks cool to play. All right, I'm gonna have to pick up Genshin Impact again.
See, we already want somebody up.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, he looks pretty dope, man. All right, it's XIAO for our listeners. Just look up this guy and decide to play the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And decide. Yeah, there you go.
And look it up.
Ganyu was the other one that got released. The bow
Here's
user.
some
You would have missed
ASMR.
her summoning opportunity by now, unfortunately.
Xiao Genshin.
But you can definitely get her another time.
Oh man, just dude, look at this. This game is so pretty, man. This game is so pretty.
It genuinely is.
Wow, Xiao.
Genshin had a lot of moments where I was just playing it and being like, yo, that's just beautiful. That and the two games of 2020 definitively that constantly made me go yo, that's beautiful the most. Is that and Ghost of Tsushima. Genshin Impact and Ghost of Tsushima constantly made me go yo, that's pretty.
See, I haven't bought video games in a while, man.
I haven't.
Ghost of Tsushima.
I still haven't beaten Ghost of Tsushima. I'm letting it sit and marinate like a fine wine.
God, man, I can't wait to get that game. I watched one gameplay video of that game and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll definitely do that.
Dude,
I'll cop that.
The combat is so good. The world, Red. When you get the game,
Andre.
eventually, what you should do is do what I did. Don't get on your horse. Just walk and run everywhere. The game is immensely bigger, and you'll appreciate all the fine details of being in Japan.
Oh, wow.
It's phenomenal.
You will. I will actively fight that recommendation and say, get on your horse. It's so pretty when you run through the flowers on your horse into the sunset.
Oh, I understand that, but also walking everywhere, you appreciate.
You're talking about cherry blossom petals and whatnot, dude. All right, what studio developed that game?
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch, actually. Yeah.
Sucker Punch.
Infamous.
They went from Sly Cooper to
Sucker
Infamous
Punch?
to Sucker Punch. Excuse me, to Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah.
Hey,
The Sucker Punch was
is
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, they're gonna say there is. That's a cool studio, man. Because
Definitively.
when I look at a Bethesda game, I know it's a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
when I look at a Naughty Dog
this
game, I know it's a
start
Naughty Dog
Sucker
game.
Punch,
No.
right? Oh, that's a Rockstar game. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Rockstar's definitely it's a Rockstar.
Is it realistic?
you would not
but
have been
funny,
able
but very serious? It's Rockstar.
Yeah.
I know my
Alright,
Gearbox
next one.
games too. I know next on my bad.
It's true. No, you're fine. You're fine. Next on the agenda, Dark Knight Metal is finally over.
Ah,
Is it?
finally!
Wait,
I knew you were about to go to
Dark
DC.
Knight
You
Metal,
know why?
It finally ended.
Darkness.
Yes,
Dark
man.
Knight's
Bro,
Metal
I
is
haven't-
finally
DC's
I haven't
was
touched
it
it
DC's
since
too?
Well, I don't think Doomsday Clock is part of it.
Oh no, it's not.
God, I haven't touched it since since they did Dark Knight's Metal, the original like comic run of it.
I'm so glad it's over.
I should probably go
finally
back
done.
and read that, all of it.
I'm
And
over
here
it.
comes Future State, boys. How are
Oh,
you feeling?
ew.
How am I feeling? I wish I was caught up. I'd know. I can tell you.
Oh. God, just let me rant. No. Oh, God,
Done a
I
lot
don't
of
like
things
it.
to change up the landscape. It's not going to be permanent, but like the end result of Dark Knight's Metal, without giving that away, kind of results in what Future State is, and it's very weird, but it's interesting. What I'll say is they've decided to change it to where everything is canon now, or at least there's a specific world where everything is canon now.
Yeah.
So all the stories that ever existed have happened in continuity somehow.
DC just could not figure out their continuity because they had jacked up. So they were like, okay, let's just make it all canon.
But
Because
I do think
the
Future State
freaking
is
New
interesting.
52 Batman run would reference things that happened before the universe was reset for the New 52.
Did they figure
People-
out how
people
to
are
kill
losing it.
Superboy Prime yet?
Yo,
That man disappeared again.
He's still out
no.
there.
No.
Oh no,
No, he's not.
I know where he is. No,
He's not.
Yeah, he's in a weird place
Bro,
right now, isn't
okay.
he?
Have they explored
he's
more
not in a weird
with
place. He's
Dr.
just-
Manhattan's
his
kid
story's
yet, or is
done.
that not part of Dark Knight's Metal?
No, that is not.
Because I want to see him kill Superboy Prime. I swear to God, that's what they're set up for, is a big crossover with Marvel.
It's not.
So where they kill him finally, because they're like, fuck, we have to do something. I shouldn't have said the F word on the stream.
this.
No,
so
he's in a very
bad.
interesting pace right now. Like,
God,
he's
I hate
not
spoilers.
dead.
He's
does
not
come
dead.
through. He does come through in Dark Knight's Metal. I'll just say that he comes through in Dark Knight's Metal. I'm not gonna tell you how or where or what he does, but all I'll just let you know is by the end of it, you're like, oh, you're here now.
I gotta go read this and catch up. Dang it, man.
I'm glad it's over, man. I'm serious.
me too.
I was so tired of Deceased. I was so tired of Dark Knight's Metal. I was so tired of the Batman Who Laughs. I was so
I think
tired
it
of all of
lasted
it,
too
dude.
long. It was like
Well, Deceased is
2017
way too
to now.
long.
But if I'm not mistaken,
Jeez.
Deceased is its own storyline, right? Like it's just its own thing.
Oh yeah, Deceased is something else. But I'm
Yeah.
tired of Deceased too. I'm over it. Deceased is actually failing. No, I won't say failing, but it's so many people are jumping off because Deceased is just not Deceased.
What is Deceased?
It's,
Deceased was their Marvel Zombies.
basically.
Oh, you. I didn't
God,
like Marvel
man,
Zombies. I think it's a dumb idea.
Neither did I. I thought Marvel Zombies was terrible. I don't know why so many people are like they want to see Marvel Zombies so bad. People, I have not stopped seeing people say I can't wait to see the Marvel Zombies What Ifs on the What If show. I don't care.
I think Marvel
It's just
Zombies was a dumb
are
idea.
so
I think Deceased is a
overplayed.
dumb idea. I think zombies are
It's
in the wrong
just not
context dumb.
funny, man.
You can't
A
put
part
them
of
with
me kinda
superheroes.
feels- A part of me kind of feels that Deceased handles it slightly better than Marvel Zombies, honestly, because it is more so about them coming to terms and understanding that this is happening,
Mhm.
and there is an active fight against it. Whereas Marvel Zombies just kind of happens, and by the time you get to the end of Marvel Zombies, it's like everyone's a zombie. Who else are
Yeah.
we gonna turn into a zombie now? And it's like,
Yeah, that was
Galactus. And I'm like, okay, I guess.
That was
So-
dumb.
Right.
That was dumb. Isn't there Marvel Zombies 2 going on right now?
I think so.
Yeah, dude. Listen.
Are they
it's
still
not
on the
good,
Deadpool
man.
hype
It's
train? or
Actually,
no?
the what hype train?
Deadpool. I remember
No.
when Deadpool 2 released,
No.
like there was like 20
No.
Deadpool circulations. I was like, this
Yeah.
is too much.
The Deadpool is, that has once again died. Deadpool is now after Fox was bought by Disney. Deadpool's very quickly started to go.
Thank God.
Though we are waiting
But
for,
I think Marvel
third
Zombies was
movie.
better. Yeah, we are waiting for that third movie. I'm still not sure if they're gonna make it an R1 or not.
I've heard it. I
People
thought it
saying
was
it
confirmed
is,
rated
people
R,
saying
but it
it's
was
not
like
gonna be.
that, I think it's an all female cast writing it. It's confirmed rated R, and they don't know
Wait.
what else is coming up.
Why? I thought Ryan did. Am I mistaken, or did Ryan Reynolds not like help? Oh no, he directed those movies. He didn't actually.
You know, he didn't
write
direct them. He
No, he wrote
wrote
some of that.
That's what I was about to say. Did he not write them?
I'm pretty sure he
might
wrote.
have.
I'm pretty sure he wrote some.
I just want to say regarding Ryan Reynolds, and this is going to get me a lot of flack. If he wasn't such a good-looking guy, I don't think people would think he's as funny as he is. Because I don't think he's the funniest person I've ever seen. A lot of people are like, oh my God. I think, honestly, he's kind of annoying. but that's why it works as Deadpool. But like when I see him in an interview and he's like making just like half-assed smart alecky jokes, it's kind of like I mean, I've heard better, you know. That's literally it. His humor to me
Okay, so
is
he
just
did not write Deadpool.
I like him in Deadpool, but I also like it's
I knew
Deadpool.
that.
He is Deadpool. You know what I mean? I don't know. I
So
just wanted to get that out there before I blew a gasket.
For future state, though, I mentioned this.
Yeah, what's up?
How you guys feeling about? Let's just get the rundown going because there's a new Batman.
Who is
I
it?
hate it.
The new Batman.
Who is it?
Okay,
I hate it. I hate it.
Because I'm
I
not caught
hate
up.
it.
Who is the new Batman?
I hate it.
It's
Oh God.
It's not gonna.
Oh,
really
you gonna
spoil
let
it.
me rant about that?
You can spoil
Oh.
it. I don't
Actually-
care. It's fine.
Oh,
Actually, I'm not going to because the
No,
way the
'cause
comic
it's-
is written, you're not supposed to know.
it's
Initially.
not it's not a
So,
spoiler. It's not a
Like,
spoiler
DC
because they
kind of
released
spoiled their own comment.
they didn't even spoil it.
Wait,
they
no,
straight
because
up
how it was-
before
Is it-
it
is it-
came.
is it
well,
a
yes, how it's
person in
written is
armor?
not just supposed to.
Yeah, it has like a bat armor thing going on. It's cool.
Is it?
But,
Is
like,
it?
DC themselves spoiled it.
Fox's son.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Oh, it is. I
No,
read
you
that
can
online.
say
That's
something.
right. That's
You
not
can
a
say
spoiler.
something because
Because they
DC
spoiled it
said
themselves, like Andre said.
Well, yeah,
Or, excuse me, like
before the
Vince
comic
spoiled
even came out, they were like,
themselves,
"Hey,
but the deal was that-
here's the reveal. Here's who it is." Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
But
And we
that's
were all
why
like,
I don't want to say anything because of the fact that it's just like, yeah, even though DC threw it out there, it's like it's very clear based on how the comic's written.
Bro.
You wasn't supposed to know this yet.
I just
Like,
thought
so
of
I'm
the.
It's
kinda like,
not-
just go
it's-
in
it's-
and read it.
I think they knew. It's not that DC spoiled it. DC knew that they were going to let down a lot of people with that information, and they let me down, and they let down everyone else. That not everyone else. There were a lot of. No, I'm not going to say a lot of people. There was 1 to 2. There was for every 3 people, there was one person that was like, yeah, this is a cool reveal. I don't mind it being this person. But for those 3 people, man, they were all like, what the hell's? Why would you choose this person of all the people? Of
No, I
all the
agree with
people
that.
to be Batman right now.
All right, good.
It's a weird pick. I'll admit it. It is kind of strange to me. Like I saw it and I'm like, all right. But at the same
Did you
time,
figure
it's
out
like,
who it is,
it's
Paul?
Weird, though.
I think I figured out
I
how
think-
they can kill Superboy Prime.
We're not going on.
Well, listen. This is gonna go out of left field, but you got to trust me. All right?
Yeah, dude. I've never heard someone. I thought I wanted Superboy Prime dead more than anyone. I think this man wants Superboy Prime dead.
Well, you
more
explained
than
to
I
me he's literally a problem that they can't solve, and I'm like, I got it. All right, so get this. You know, we all like historical figures. All right,
have. Okay.
historical figures are dope, and you bring them into superhero things, and they have superpowers and super strength and stuff. You know, well, what's gonna kill Superboy Prime but somebody as strong as him? And you know who that is?
Cool.
Alternate universe MLK. He survives. Imagine him rolling up and I have a dream and hits him into the stratosphere. That would be the dopest fucking comic ever. Kills Superboy Prime, fixes DC forever. Boom. There you go. And we get an awesome side story where it's an alternate future. I'm just saying, right there.
MLK is alive and fighting
God,
crime.
dude.
I'm just
about to-
saying. I
I'm
just
about-
thought of that. I was like, in my head, smiling. I was like, oh my god, that's a cool thought. That panel, dude, just like you have like the first page, like right before it, and then the next page, have a dream. You know, and it's just, and he's just splattered, and it's like DC fixed, like oh. And then you can have
This
the whole
is Paul
backstory and all
Bosch's,
this stuff. Oh my god, dude, that would be dope.
Brought back MLK.
Black History Month.
Right?
Addition to
Right, what was
Paperplay
what was
action.
Doomsday Clock's thing where like Marvel comes in or whatever? It's like the 2030s. They gotta have it like play that whole thing out and everything's failing, and then it gets to February, and then suddenly you have that alternate timeline. People are like, "What's going on? This is awesome. We get this alternate history where certain things didn't happen," and then it's like, "He's a hero. What is going on? Superboy Prime so you can have. Oh my god!" And then he shows up and he's like. Not today. Like, God, you talk about ending that month, right? Dude, fucking, I have a
It'd
dream.
be pretty lit.
Oh,
It'd
dude,
be pretty lit. I'm not gonna lie.
I got goosebumps.
I'm
dude.
about
That's-
to spoil this, man.
But-
We're gonna have to start doing spoiler warnings or something, dude. Because this, man, oh god, man, I cannot,
worry,
dude.
I'm
Future
gonna
State is.
jump to
There's
something
only
else.
Back
there's
on
only a
track, yeah,
few
my bad.
good things in Future State.
Nah, don't worry.
I
I'll jump to
think
something else.
okay.
How do
I
we
think
feel
Titans
about
in
the
Future
new Wonder
State.
Woman?
No,
I've
I like
seen
her.
it.
no,
I think she's super cool.
no,
No, she's fine.
no, no, dude.
There's not enough time has passed for her specifically. I want to give her
Dude,
a
she's
shot.
whack,
Who is-
bro. She's a problem.
Wait, what?
How's your problem?
I think she's, and this is coming from a guy that's like, I need there to be something different. this woman is such an asshole to me, dude. she's so
Got
like
anger issues.
she's so like she's not Wonder Woman. Put it like that. That's why I'm upset, because I feel like this character should exist. She should be in Amazon. She should not be Wonder Woman. Not because she's different than Diana Prince, but because she does not, to me, maintain the spirit of Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Donna Troy maintains the spirit of Wonder Woman more than I think this character does. Yara
Yara.
something.
I think it's Yara. Something.
Bro, who's the new Green
I
Lantern?
thought it's
She's
Yara
bad.
Z something.
My bad.
Oh, she's
Joe-
fine as
Joe's
all
awesome,
B.
bro.
I have to look this up.
Who?
Joe, he said the new Green Lantern. You mean Joe, or you mean Yara?
It's a chick.
Yeah, Joe's the new Green Lantern. She's dope.
Gotcha.
She's awesome, but like she's just in general. Like she's been around for a minute. Joe's
No,
cool.
Ain't seen her.
I don't think she should have been around for a minute. I think she should have came with Future State, because she kind of, when she came around, it kind of threw me off. Like it actually, it threw me and a few. I'll say a few. I'll say
She just
a
has her
certain
own
group of
charisma,
people
man.
off, because it just seemed like how do you hack into a goddamn power ring?
Wait,
How do you do that?
that's what she did?
Like how do you yeah, she's not chosen.
That's not, no. I didn't know
She's
that.
not chosen. And I'm like,
That's a weird.
how
one.
do you I don't get man,
kinda-
it's a comic book, but I don't
Joe
get
was cool though.
doing certain things
They
to
could've-
make certain
They could've
characters
just
cool
chose her then.
that
yeah.
don't seem
No,
like yeah,
I mean,
like just
yeah, that's
make
a
her
dumb-
chosen.
that's a
Yeah,
dumb
that's
part
kind
of
of
it.
just
I've
handing
always
somebody power
disliked
to
the
make them
character
like
because
seem
of
dope,
that.
but like there's no point.
That's what I'm saying.
But
You're just
Joe
trying to
is-
make this
I will
character
say
seem
Joe
cool
as a
and
character
different.
Is cool. I don't like that little tidbit. That's a really bad tidbit.
As a
That's kind
character,
of like
she's
the new
dope.
Mulan, just
Yeah.
like
She's a
being
detective,
born
man.
a goddess.
She's a
basically.
straight detective. Yeah. As a character, she's really cool, but I feel cheated out of a character that is really cool.
being chosen.
And I shouldn't get in my own way.
Yeah.
But that just
You know what
seems
I think would have
freaking
worked better
weird
is
to
if
me,
she
man.
like somehow like figured out their power source and made her own effing ring. That could have worked. Just saying.
If she had made her own ring, hey, we've even seen that explored before in these comics. That's something that could
Right?
definitely happen.
Yeah, see that right
That's
there, we
really
fixed
cool.
it. There you go.
Like it can
That's
always happen.
really
It's
cool.
not impossible. I just find it that little tidbit is really.
Where's my
really
phone's
damning.
the camera,
It's
damn
not
it.
necessary because it's not necessary.
I
It's
was
just kind of like
man, I was gonna
why
say
can't she
there
just
we
be chosen
go.
like every other Green Lantern.
I was gonna say there we
She's
go,
always
we
Yeah,
fixed
cool.
it, and then ding ding ding, but
See,
I don't have it.
All right,
on my-
here's the only thing from Future State. The only two things from Future State I like, and I can't really talk much about Titans because I haven't read it yet. I've just seen certain scans, but John Kent as Superman, I think that's going great.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
Teen Titans, but Teen
That's
Titans.
pretty cool.
That's I think Superman Metropolis. I think that is the best thing coming out of Future State, simply because so many people before Future State were just like, well, I don't want John Kent to be aged up, but I'd love to see him as Superman. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Wait, how much is
I
DC?
don't
Like,
want him to be
yeah,
aged up.
I
They
don't want
really
him to
should
be aged up.
backtrack that though. I feel like they did it so unnecessarily. It's not necessary. If that makes any sense. It's the weirdest sentence to ever say, but
Yeah.
like.
I'm not
Like,
sure
I
what
would
Brian
like
Bendis
to
was
see
thinking
him
there.
as a kid because that's what he was, a kid.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
he shouldn't be like it's the equivalent of like if we aged up Miles Morales right now.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have a story that just takes place in the future and Miles Morales is just older, don't age him up. It's like there's no like why would you do that right now? Like he's kind of in his appropriate spot right
He's
now.
right where he
Like,
should
that's where
be,
he
yeah.
belongs.
And I think Brian Michael Bendis
Farce.
aged up Jonathan Kent, not for Jonathan Kent. It is my theory and the theory of some other Instagram users that I spoke with that Jonathan Kent was aged up by Brian Bendis for Superman Clark Kent for his story, simply to create a new dynamic in Superman's life. Because if you kept reading Superman's that comic, or at least that run, I think it's that run. I'm not sure if Brian Bendis is. I'm not sure if his run is over yet. I'm pretty sure I heard it was running soon or ending soon. But you learn that the whole reason why he this man Clark was like, hey, I'm going to tell the world I'm Superman, is because so much had been happening in his life on top of his son being aged up to, what was it, 17?
Mm-hmm.
He felt like he needed to take something back in his life. So he was like, you know what, I'm just going to, like he needed to control something in his life. There's got to be something in my life that I can control and have some sort of authority over. And, have some sort of balance or structure, or I can just manipulate where it's going, for my sake. Mm-hmm. And that's why he told the world that he's Superman. And that's an interesting dynamic because it does humanize Clark Kent. It does humanize him even more. But I don't think it's a good idea to adjust a character that has become their own character for the sake of a dynamic for a different character. That's nonsense. Because people loved Super Sons. Super Sons was cool,
Super Sons was
man.
really cool.
Super Sons
really
was
enjoyed it.
great. You just ended what was naturally going to become the next Batman and Superman. DC's already showed us these two characters should be the next Batman and Superman. I don't think Damian Wayne should be the next Batman. As Amani knows, I have a massive hatred for Damian Wayne.
He hates
I have a
Damian.
massive
Damian.
hatred for Damian Wayne, dude. Why do you love Damian? You have to tell me why you love Damian. You've got to let me know.
I'm a huge Robin fanboy by default. I like
Okay,
anybody under the cowl of Robin. That's just
I
how
didn't know
am.
that.
Yeah, like Robin specifically is my favorite DC superhero. It's not even, I say it's Batman so that it's easy to explain, but honestly, I like Robin because Robin represents a lot of stuff. Robin represents Nightwing and what he becomes. Like it's the same character, but it shows growth. It is the mantle that constantly represents growth.
Yeah.
DC.
I feel that.
So
Yeah.
it's like you watch Nightwing, he's Robin. Well, Dick Grayson becomes Robin, then he becomes Nightwing. And then
Yes.
you watch
And Batman. At one point.
Jason Todd
Yeah,
become
and
Robin.
Batman.
He dies, but then he becomes Red Hood.
Yeah.
The devil.
And so forth, so forth. Tim Drake becomes Red Robin, ultimately. He goes forth to become Red Robin. And Damian steps away from the mantle because he feels like he's not ready. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, he's not worthy. But it's all these little things of, like, the line of Robins have
Yeah.
always been interesting to me. Because it's always a different character, and they're not afraid to do different things with that character. And then
Yeah.
on top of that, all of them talk. They're all,
All
like
of them
siblings.
They're all brothers
they are
because of
literally
that.
a family.
Yeah. Man, I feel so bad for Carrie Kelly. I don't like Carrie Kelly because that was a really dumb thing to do
She's
for
also kind of
Batman.
like not canon, so I just don't think
Wait,
about it.
It's
much.
not
Carrie
canon,
Kelly?
but
The one from
she's
Dark
the
Knight
Robin
Returns.
from Dark Knight Returns. And I just thought that as a writer, if you're trying to write Batman, granted, no. I don't give Frank Miller any excuse for making this Batman okay with Carrie Kelly being Robin. It just seems wildly irresponsible for the character to make Carrie Kelly or allow Carrie Kelly to be Robin. Granted, Batman was, and I just said no, granted, but Batman was older, he was grislier, and he gave less of a fuck. But Carrie Kelly is wildly unprepared for anything she's about to go into, but she goes into it anyways. Frank Miller's he's a wild guy. He's a wild guy.
He does some wild stuff. He has one of the best Daredevil runs, and Dark Knight Returns is really good. But
Didn't he write V for Vendetta as well?
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, yes, he did.
Yes.
And wait, no, I'm thinking that's Alan Moore did Watchmen.
Yes.
Was it Alan Moore that wrote V for Vendetta? Wait, who wrote? I'm confused.
It was Frank Miller that wrote V for Vendetta. He also did Sin City. I love Robin. I love Damian Wayne's new suit.
His new suit's awesome.
His new suit is clean, man.
But I've
I
always
love his
thought-
new suit.
Yeah, I've
After
always
he
thought
killed Alfred and tore that Robin symbol off, everything he's been doing afterwards is stuff that I vibe with.
No,
It's
V
really
for
cool
Vendetta
to me.
was Alan Moore. I'll be damned.
It was Alan Moore? No way.
Was Alan Moore? Yeah.
I'm gonna take your word for it because you're looking it up right now. But yeah, I just looked that up. I was just reading about that because V for Vendetta has been taken off of Netflix. I don't know if you've known.
Oh.
Netflix has had V for Vendetta on it for so many years, man. I
And then
did not
finally just
expect it to
being
go
like,
off.
Yep, time to get rid of it.
V for
Yeah.
Vendetta is so good, though.
It's such
What
a
a
good
good
movie, man.
commentary.
Good story, all together. Yeah, man. And let's see. If you know who Duke Thomas is,
Freaking love Duke Thomas.
talking to our readers, if you know who Duke Thomas is, don't read Batman Future State. If you are a fan of Duke Thomas, do not read Batman Future State, because you will be disappointed. Not for any reason that I mean, I'm not going to say what might be going on with Duke Thomas in Future State, but I'm going to say he's not Batman, and that pisses me off.
That's true. That is kind of sad.
That pisses me off.
That does bother me just a little bit, but I really don't know why they
Especially
chose this
after
character.
Batman and the Outsiders. This man has light and shadow powers now. He doesn't just have light powers. The man can literally create darkness. Who is better to play or to be Batman? What better
A Batman
Future
with
State
superpowers
thing?
would actually be really interesting to look at.
It's Batman with superpowers, bro.
I don't understand.
He's
how they
got
let
powers
that
of the
slip by.
light and the dark, dude. Guy actually can cloak himself in pure darkness. How does that not seem like the most logical next step for his character? If they're gonna have a Future State Batman that's not Bruce Wayne, can't tell me. I don't think you could ever make that make
Duke
sense.
Thomas would have been a way better pick. I want to see what they do with it. I just find it so weird that they chose who they chose.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Bro, did you know Captain Britain was written by Alan Moore?
I didn't know.
Captain Britain.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just gonna mention, because this has to be mentioned for Future State. Red X now canon.
Yes, dude.
Wait, who's canon? Who's Red X?
Red X,
Red X
is a
and,
character from the Teen Titans.
originally
show,
from Teen
who
Titans.
A lot of people believe it was
Red
Robin's
X.
alternate identity when he
Oh!
was trying to infiltrate Slade. But it is also what a lot of people believe to be Jason Todd in that universe.
It's a perfect theory.
Red X is awesome. And I'm glad that he
Went
got
for
to be
a long
canon because
time.
he's just cool.
And I'm glad that something that Future State Teen Titans has been doing, or I did do, is that it is still canon that Nightwing, Dick Grayson, was Red X at, first. He was Red X first.
That's awesome. I like that.
I love that they pull that over into these comics. He was Red X first, just like in the Teen Titans show. That is justice. That is honoring the character. That is honoring the legacy of the character. Because now, think about it. If Nightwing, or if Dick Grayson lived in the Batman legacy before, someone is now living in the Nightwing legacy now, or at least the
Yeah.
Dick Grayson legacy, because they're Red X. It's not Dick Grayson. It's Red X. That's cool.
That's a really cool one. I actually didn't know that they mentioned the fact that Dick Grayson was originally Red X anyway. And the fact that they've mentioned that, I'm like, that's perfect. They did everything they needed to do to bring this character over properly. As
Yeah,
far
man.
as I'm concerned. But on to another controversial topic for us.
Oh God.
Miles Morales is getting a Clone Saga.
No!
Why?
No!
Actually,
Why can't they
considering-
just? Oh
to be
my
fair,
God!
To be fair, considering his current run, it does make sense.
I see. I'm not fully.
I have not
caught
been
up,
keeping up
so
with
I don't
Miles,
know.
be honest,
But
to be-
I think
I have
Clone
not.
Saga is unnecessary.
There's a
Yeah,
Miles Morales
that's
mask
how
on
they
my
pushed
wall.
it. But the idea is that, like, considering his current run, Miles has been captured and strung up, and DNA has been taken from him
again.
by a villain known as the Assessor, who has yet to
Oh.
be fully dealt with at
I
this
know
current
what
moment
you're
in the
talking
comics.
about. Yeah, man.
So it makes
that's
sense
dumb.
as to why
Oh.
why this is
God.
happening, because you get to see how it plays out based on his current run. But the Assessor has yet to be dealt with, and so I look at that and I'm like, damn it, because I don't immediately freak out. There are aspects of the Clone Saga I super love, but that story goes on for way too long, and that is the genuine honest truth, is that it's just like, if it came out and did what it was originally supposed to do, everybody would be like, that's an interesting story. Clone Saga's cool. The fact that it went on for as long as it did and got stretched out as long as it did is what makes Clone Saga bad. Now, Miles Morales getting the Clone Saga, I get the feeling, based on what I know so far, this will be more like the Ultimates Clone Saga than it will be the 90s one. which is a good thing ultimately, because the Ultimate one is way better as a story than the 90s one. It just is.
It is. It absolutely is. Like, without question. But why would you... You already have a character who people do not like because for some reason they just can't get over that another character in the Ultimate Universe became Spider-Man. It is not a good idea to then tailor a clone saga after a character that was replaced by said character. That's going to make a lot of people not read it alone. So you killed my Peter Parker, and then you gave the Spider-Man mantles to this random character, and now you're gonna give him the Clone Saga and all this. You gave him Gwen Stacy, you gave him Mom Man, you gave him. That's what people are going to say, just because people love, and I'm a pretty optimistic guy. People love to complain about this character. And I'm not sure. I feel like he had a better direction to be going in.
Didn't get it. I'll agree. The Accessor is an
weird.
interesting new villain for him, but I don't like what he does to this story. And having him have a Clone Saga feels weird to me because of the fact that, like, the number one thing, like you were mentioning, is people are just like, this character's constantly being given the same stuff as the previous Spider-Man. Like, we gave him Gwen Stacy for a little bit. I'm kind of glad that didn't go anywhere. I really wish they would focus on the one character that's been around the whole time that they just don't want to touch on.
Please
Bombshell.
make this man marry Bombshell. Hello.
But, or Kamala, because she exists, and that's a thing, but we're not going to get into that.
That is a thing. That's a
But
good thing, too. I prefer Bombshell, though.
I just, like, I know where the story's going. I just don't want it to go in that direction, even though it makes sense. Like, it makes total sense when you're reading it. It's like, of course, this is something that has to be dealt with because this man is running around with your DNA now. Go do something about it. But man, it's one of those things where you read the title for it initially and you're just like, don't do this to him.
Don't do it, man.
Just don't. Please
don't do it. You already have him dealing with the Miles from the main universe, or not the main universe, the main continuity, the 616. You already have Miles dealing with his alternate self still, and now you're gonna throw a clone in for him.
If I'm not mistaken, that finally concluded.
Is that over? Oh my god!
That finally concluded, but that is why I'm saying that, like, this is why, because towards the end of that, without getting into full-on spoilers, towards the end of that, we start to see clones.
Oh my god.
They're crappy clones is the deal. But it's something to throw at. They literally throw that at Miles to deal with that at the time. And when you see that, you're like, there's only one place this could go now, because the guy that's making them is still around.
Honestly, I'm writing my own Miles Morales comic. Spoiler or surprise. I'm writing my own Miles Morales comic right now. And I think there are effective ways of spinning a Miles Morales story, or spinning some Spider-Man sort of continuity, some Spider-Man lore, rather, is what I'm looking for, and giving it to Miles Morales, and giving attributes originally with Peter Parker and giving it to Miles Morales. That is good. And then there is stripping certain things, or not stripping certain things, but sort of taking major story arcs in Spider-Man's continuity, Peter Parker's continuity, and just saying, hey, we're going to give it to you because you are a Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we didn't want to be happening to the character when he got here.
That's true. I want to see him interact and do his college stuff. I want to see him interact and be on the Champions. Because he already has a very different dynamic than most people. Like, this is the Spider-Man that genuinely likes to work together with other people, honestly. Like, Peter Parker in his original, like run for X amount of years while he was in high school and even towards his college years, he was a loner. That's the deal.
Yeah.
Like, he had his team-up books, but the idea was that he's like, I don't join teams.
Yeah.
Miles he made a team.
He made a team.
He's been on multiple
teams. He was on the, what was the, was he on the Ultimates?
He was on the Ultimates.
Is that what they called
New
themselves?
Avengers. He was on the New Ultimates, which was another team he just made.
Yeah. That dude cannot not be solo, bro. He's always teaming up with someone.
Dear viewers, it does go without saying I don't read comics nearly as much as them.
It's fine. We all
Especially
have our own
Spider-Man
issues, bro.
comics.
I
But he did read Ultimate Spider-Man
I did.
up until Miles, right?
Yeah, I got all the way to Miles, and then I kind of just got tired of reading it. It was like 100-something chapters. I needed a break. But it is on my duty list to read that and then read where it is currently, especially with like the what's the king called that y'all keep mentioning?
Oh, the King in Black stuff.
Oh,
Yes.
no. Oh, yeah. The King in
Null
Black.
is,
Good. Great.
It was great.
See, Null is a good story, or it's a good event, like comic event.
Yeah,
I've been
Null is
flooded. I've been oversaturated with events the last 5 years, bro.
one
I've had too many events, but King in Black is.
of these
there's a proper build up to it and everything.
one of these
Yeah.
podcasts, I'm gonna do my rant on Venom Space Knight. That'll be my week
Please
oh, yeah,
do, man.
for sure. That'll be funny.
because
It's gonna happen.
that deserves to be talked about. Now I want to wait till we have more viewers for that. Because if I can get a following and a gathering, bring that back. It doesn't have
Is
to be
Miles,
continuity. Just make it its own thing.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Where would you like to see? If I have a question for you guys, if you guys had control over a certain DC character or a Marvel character, where would you like to take that character's story? Or even change things incredibly? Where would you like to? It's your character to play with right now.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because I just do that every day in my mind. I just do that every day.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd want to see. For taking Miles Morales, I want to see him. Like, we kind of got that with the original run, but I would like to see him become the only Spider-Man. Not to get rid, not to
that'd
phase
be
out
cool.
Peter Parker.
Right,
Because,
right.
We kind of got what I wanted with Peter Parker for a really long time. They just got rid of it for some reason. But in all new, all different Spider-Man is what I wanted for a really long time, which was just, I want to see Spider-Man grow. I want to see Spider-Man become the best version of him he could possibly be.
I want to see.
That was kind of what all new, all different was for a while.
Like owning
Because
a
we're talking about a character that Cable said, "Hey, I'm from the future. In the future, he's known as the greatest superhero." I've been waiting for us to get to that for a long time, man.
And I feel like we almost got there with all new, all different. With just by seeing him being like, "I'm globetrotting, I'm around," like, and you had Miles being the Spider-Man that was like, "I'm in New York. I got New York held down on my back. You go take care of the rest of the world." And it's like, Peter's like, "Say no more. You got it."
That's cool.
Like, and we're kind of getting the other storyline that I wanted for a little bit in the games, which was, I would love to see the Spider-Man that has Miles Morales as the actual apprentice to Peter.
As the actual apprentice
and we
to
get
Peter
that
Parker,
in the game. Like, so that's why I'm kind of like, those two are done. But I would like to see the evolution of, like, because in the Ultimate Universe we got to see him be his own Spider-Man, but we never got to see him fully come into fruition because the idea was always he's still growing.
Yeah.
I want to see him become the only Spider-Man with the full Rose Gallery. If that makes any sense. Like, he has, like, it's not even that he has to fight all of Peter's enemies. He has his own full Rose Gallery.
Yeah.
Is it because right now he's doing his thing and I enjoy it, but like, people do mention the fact that like he's just lacking in like villains, and I'm like, you're not wrong. He doesn't have that many villains, and most of the villains that like he encounters that are Peter's, he interacts with differently, and I love it.
They're
But,
all
like,
great,
it is
man.
unfortunate that like it can't be more. Like, I want to see what else he can bring. So I want to see him fully, but I don't want it to get him aged up. That's the one thing I don't want them to do. Don't age him up anytime soon. I just want to see what the potential will be when it's like, all right, Peter decides to just, like, let's just say we'll take it back to Clone Saga. Let's say he just does the thing he was supposed to do in Clone Saga, which was, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna go live my life with Mary Jane. Miles, you got it, bro. And Miles was like, I'll do it. I'll get it done.
Yeah.
And to see like where that would go would be interesting.
Even if Peter effectively retires the Spider-Man costume, but still maintained the hero, like I think one of the coolest things about Peter Parker is that his sense of responsibility is, whilst a burden, it is also his greatest strength. So he's not ever going to not serve mankind if he can. And he doesn't need, at this point in his life, he does not need to be Spider-Man, a costumed hero, in order to do that. So to at least see him play around with that, to just say, can I hang up the mantle and live a life, you know? Can I do that? Can I be a hero still? Yeah, why not? You already had Tony Stark taunt, well, not really taunt. He didn't even know Peter Parker was Spider-Man, but you have the scene where Spider-Man and Peter Parker or Tony Stark fight, Iron Man fight, because Iron Man is insulting Parker Industries. He's like, you know, Peter Parker's that kid's gonna fail at some point. You should come work for me, Spidey. I'll take care of you. And Peter gets pissed off and he starts fighting Iron Man. You already see that. You already see like the biggest tech money head in Marvel, known in Marvel, most popular one, saying to Spider-Man of all people, hey, leave that tech company, come to my tech company. Like, when did that happen? When did that happen? Like, look at where we are, Spider-Man fans. Look at actually where we are with Peter Parker. Look at him. That dude is he's almost too big for his own boots at this point.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I'm not saying that's like a defect or anything. He can be so much more, dude. So much more. So much more, dude.
Right.
So yeah, dude, I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea.
Paul, do you have one specifically? Because I would like to hear it if you do.
Oh, yes, he does. Look at that face. Yes, he does.
Oh, yeah.
You have full control, brother. It's your character. Do whatever you want.
I feel you, but if you say Venom Space Knight, I'm going to the next subject.
Man,
You got that
take
for a
it.
rant another time.
Take it.
Exactly why I haven't spoken.
I got you. I will literally have
I
you have this
do
rant another
have an
time.
idea though. I'm not caught up on Silver Surfer. Again, I've only been reading like Silver Surfer, the 1987. That's definitive money. And I don't know how it ends. I haven't read it all, but I don't know. I would like to. Honestly, I would love to just see a storyline where that dude, I don't know, either obtains peace. Think about it. This man just doesn't have peace. He's constantly moving around, losing everything. I'd like to just see a storyline where he goes through hell, kills whatever it is, and then he can finally stop and just go home, and he's like with his wife, and that's it. Like, I don't care if they end it after that. Just give him a definitive ending. Because, I mean, yeah, you got Silver Surfer Black. I don't know how they use him there, but, like, you know what I mean?
It's good, but it doesn't,
he just,
doesn't
like,
give you what you want.
He just doesn't pop up enough, and when he does, it's to serve other purposes. Or they did the one a few years back where it's like, oh, he's with some other person on Earth. Who gives a shit? Like, give this man an ending. If you're not going to use him, give him a definitive ending. You know? I think, truly, I would just like to see that. I would like to see Norrin Rad at home and at peace. There you go. That's mine. It's a simple
At
one.
home.
It's very pristine, but I like that.
Like, even if you had to do something like a successor, in a way, just something that would give Norrin Rad the chance to be at rest.
Yeah, hell, pass the mantle
like
on. That's
that.
fine too. Just
I like
So
that a lot.
that character is probably one of the few characters that I know about that has never been another Silver Surfer. It's always been Norrin Rad.
Which is why,
As far as I'm
Silver
aware,
Surfer
it's always been Norrin
specifically
Rad.
could easily be passed on. It's just a matter of giving the board to another person in a lot of cases.
exactly.
There were multiple times that Galactus had a different, like even Hulk was herald
Yeah.
for Galactus at some point, but the whole, the big thing of that is you got Hulk battling Silver Surfer now. They both got the power of cosmic, blah blah blah.
Why did Hulk
But-
need that though? Hulk is already like the strongest effing thing in the universe. Why the hell?
God, man, you
Fucking Marvel.
couldn't tell me.
But,
You couldn't tell me. Immortal Hulk
Yeah.
is absolutely insane now, and I love it.
It is genuinely where I wanted to see the character be taken to in a lot of ways. And
Really?
it's kind of crazy how wild I wanted to see him be taken to that. Like, Immortal Hulk is genuinely super interesting. If you haven't read it, I would give it a shot.
That show was nutty. No, not show. That comic. It really. Oh man, imagine that as a show though. Whew.
Here's another one
Alright.
I would like to see. This is another one of
Yeah.
those small but brief ones. since I guess it kind of needs to happen now. People would argue about this. Batman ends up with Selena, gets married,
Yes!
realizes he can pass on the mantle, and ends it and is happy. I like seeing my favorite
God,
heroes
please.
grow as characters and realize they don't have to do this.
Yes, sir. Oh,
Like, I know
man.
that's, like, controversial, especially with Batman, because it's Batman, but, like, dude, imagine him, like, getting to retire and be happy. Like, he could fight crime and
Yeah.
fund them and, like, talk to them and all that, but just, like, getting to do the things he never got to do because of, like, the enslavement of being Batman. You know what I mean? I'm just, I think that'd be, I like
feel- no, I
watching
feel that, 'cause
heroes
one of the
get the
definitive-
chance to not have to do this. You know?
Especially when it's very clear that, like, in Batman, that you have plenty of people to take over the mantle. But the number one thing that everyone kind of remembers and is always like, so this is the future of Batman, like, definitively.
It's passing
It's
the
Terry
mantle.
McGinnis.
Yeah.
He always passes it to Terry McGinnis at the end, no matter what. So it doesn't matter. So it's like, let him be happy. Just, you can do that. Like, that's okay. He's like, in fact, the thing that could make him so grumpy at the world again, when I think about it, because, like, it could be the fact that he gets married to Selena and he gets to live his life, but then he loses her.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
Selena doesn't
no!
appear in that series.
What better way to bring him back, you know? He's
And it would
lost
be
his
a great way
happiness.
of- yeah, and that's how you get
We get
him
an
to
even
be
more
like,
brutal
I'm the
Batman,
grumpy
too, because he
Batman.
wouldn't care anymore, you know?
Yeah.
That would
He's like,
change
but
him
it's-
entirely.
And it's like, but that's how you get the grumpy Batman that's there in the beginning of Batman Beyond is just he's angry because of the fact that, like, he finally found happiness and, like, he had his time, like, he got to retire and be fine and enjoy it, but now he's alone again.
Yeah.
And so he's like,
You know,
hate it,
you know,
hate it here.
you know what I think it is with heroes that I like to see the most, and this is maybe it's just me because I like the end to a story. Like a lot of these heroes, it just keeps going and going and going. But where manga's really good about it is they have like that end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They have
And
those
I would love to see that
things.
with some of these heroes. And I mean, even if it's just a small story on the side that is the canon end, and then you just keep using them with other things, just taking that extra mile to write it really well. I would like that with a few heroes. Venom Space
Yeah,
Knight. I can't talk about you yet, but
There is a story called Venom the End, though, that is really good.
I don't give a shit.
Really
I want my
interesting.
Venom
I'm just
Space
saying you
Knight
should check it
end.
Just saying, you should check it out. But
Yeah.
speaking of the end and how that's apparently not going to be it for some people,
Hmm.
apparently Microsoft has been given the patent to digitally revive dead people. This is a real
Yes.
thing.
Oh yeah, like the
I'm aware
AI
of that.
thing.
No, well, holograms and
Yeah, that's
well,
transcendental.
with AI,
I
with
don't
AI
like
and
that.
and
Yeah, it's
holograms.
kinda-
It's kind of
and,
like almost a tearing of the soul kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not going to go into that in this podcast. I just I
It's
don't like
digital
Apparently-
cloning.
Apparently,
It's
you
digital
can
cloning.
You can train your AI to take your place. Like a lot of it has to do, like they're able to do that. They have a proper patent for it.
I will
don't know
never
if it's
allow that.
actually for sale or anything, but they can do this now.
no.
They can make an AI of you.
This has got
that will
Skynet written all
essentially-
over it. Cyberpunk, Blade Runner, all of it warns against this. This is a bad
Yeah,
idea.
it really does. It's got a lot, but I find it really interesting. I saw that and was like, okay, Microsoft.
Yo, they've been working on that for the last 10 years at least.
Bill Gates literally
now it's
sitting
a
out
thing-
here trying to be God, and it's like
But now it's actually a
not
definitive.
a thing I
that,
can
like,
talk about on the podcast.
They got a proper.
Yeah, no, okay, I want to so bad. I want
Right?
to
Oh
so
man, we
bad,
can't
but
go
I
into
can't,
this.
dude.
This is not that podcast.
Not there.
Check
Not
us
that
out on
one.
our side podcast, Spiritualism. No,
It was like, that might need to be a thing at some point. Maybe we'll give it a shot.
Soul Food. That's the
Oh,
other
man.
podcast where we talk about like the soul. And, nah.
Speaking
If
of,
I could have control
That's a
over
good
any
movie.
character, and there are lots of them that I would control. Right now, I want to take control of Jason Todd. I want to take control of Jason Todd because I read The Three Jokers, and that comic is a perfect springboard for making Jason Todd get over the trauma of being killed by the Joker.
Yes.
that's
That comic alone said,
Yes.
Jason, let it go. You're alive now. You're
Growth.
alive now. You have, like you have got
What?
to let that go.
Here's a question: why? I guess because it pertains to that what you asked us. Why is it American comics specifically are so afraid of letting characters grow?
Money.
You could
Money.
make so much money on having them grow, though.
I agree.
It doesn't
And
have to
the
take
comic
60
industry
years for
doesn't
Spider-Man
think
to
they
get a
will.
company just for you to make him lose it. You know what I mean?
The comic industry, for some reason, thinks that their readers will not give them money if they change the status quo of the characters that we've been reading for so long. I don't mind you doing this. I just want you to do it right. And of course, that's an opinion. But, yeah, I'll be a selfish prick. There are ways to do these characters wrong. We have that term character suicide for a reason. Like, for instance, Wally West in Heroes in Crisis, that was character suicide. That was character suicide.
Wow,
that was so not good at all. You do not bring Wally West back from the dead and then have that happen, bro.
Yeah. Tom King, if you watch this podcast, I'll have a beer with you. Don't you bring up Wally West. I'll fight you.
I mean, that's also one of the things that's happening in Future State as well, is that we actually have an evil Wally West running around murdering people and other stuff. I say evil Wally West, it is just Wally West. And it seems
It's
like
just
he's possessed.
Wally.
It seems
It's
like
just
he's possessed.
Wally. I mean, we knew this was coming, though. We knew that he was going to be, there was talk that he was going to be in the Suicide Squad, which, honestly, dumb idea. Because he's the fastest man alive. You don't need a Suicide Squad when you've got the fastest man alive on the team. This man's the fastest in the multiverse. I don't know if he's still the fastest in the multiverse after Deceased or Dark Knight's Metal. But if Wally decided to go around with guns, even that's overkill. He could go around snap necks all day.
Red West.
He'd be over in a second.
Red Hood is dead. It's bring on the West.
That's a good point.
Hey!
Wally West or a speedster that doesn't care about life around it could do so much harm, no problem. Like, it'd be so easy if you needed them to do anything on the suicide. Like, oh, we need you to send you in to assassinate a dictator. Okay, it is done now. Can I go
it's
back?
done.
Can I leave?
Perfect.
I literally created a character in DC Universe called the Rogue Rift, who is that character.
Perfect
that
comic
character,
idea,
bro.
guys. Speaking of the
Yes.
name Red West, right? It's Wally
Red
West,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
But he's got guns, and it's a Western set in modern day. But he's the fastest man alive.
He's the fastest.
There's
gun
something in
the
there.
world.
That
I'm just
speedster
saying,
exists.
Red West.
That speedster exists
DC?
in this.
I patented that shit.
If you look at if I hate to burst your bubble, but if you look, it's in Barry Allen's Flash comic. He's talking to, like, I don't know what they're called, the Council of Flashes. He can talk to all the Flashes in the multiverse. That Flash exists. It's a Western Flash who's got 2 guns and he's got a freaking cowboy hat. It's pretty cool. Let me see if I can find him. Western Flash? DC? Maybe? Comics? I'm pretty sure he... Oh, okay, maybe I just need to look up that Flash multiverse. Flash multiverse. If I'm wrong, fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure there is a speedster in the multiverse when it comes to DC Comics in association with the Flash that was spotted that is basically a cowboy. You can see him when Barry Allen's talking to all the different Flashes, trying to solve some problem or something like that. But if I'm wrong, that should be done, because why not? That's brilliant. When are we getting the Snyder Justice League? When is that happening?
March.
March.
I'm
okay.
excited. I want to see it.
I'm curious at this point.
I'm hoping that this is great because, man, oh man, never in cinematic history
Have they botched something? I feel like, honestly, all the hate that he was getting, I feel like if his vision
Cats got bought.
finally got released, you know what I mean? It'll clear that up. That's my hope, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because a lot of people hate the Snyder Collection, but it's like, I don't know, man. It just like I said, my camera's gonna be off. It's just, yeah. But yeah, Snyder Collection, the Snyder Cut. I cannot wait to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Me neither. It looks good. Speaking of things that look good, this Project DT that I've seen floating about.
Project DT.
Yep. Set the link to it so you guys can see this thing.
Metal Gear
Looks
Solid.
like, yep, look at that
and
description.
Bayonetta
Metal Gear
had a
meets Bayonetta.
Baby!
Wait, what is this?
What is this?
Yeah,
Ah,
go ahead
it's
and
so
take a
loud.
look at that. I will also be putting this on our Twitter for those who need to know.
Whoa!
Project DT
What is this?
looks
Oh
like,
no!
Yeah, it's a high-speed action game, which I was gonna say, speaking of high-speed action, but we got away from that one. That involves throwing hands with giant robots that are basically the size of Metal Gears as a small person.
This looks really
It
cool.
looks awesome. It honestly isn't. One of the things that they said it's inspired by is like Nier.
That's a Metal
and
Gear.
That's what I thought.
It's a Metal Gear. I think they said it's inspired by Nier,
Devil May Cry
Bayonetta,
and Benetta.
Devil May Cry. Yep. And I'm like, all I heard was, all you said was all the right things to possibly do this. That's
Bro, this
You do
looks
this.
so good.
by development studio Digital Cry. My bad, Digital Sky. It looks awesome, honestly, and I hope I'm gonna keep my eye out for that one. For those that don't know, check it out. Just by all means, just look at it and just be like, get this done, please. So China apparently just dropping random games. Not too long ago, we got what was that? The Odyssey of the West game. What was it called? If anybody remembers. That it looks super good for no reason.
This looks absolutely incredible.
Bro, this looks like a really sleek game. Talk about China coming in with like they got what the Wukong game.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, the Wukong game.
And now
Can
this
you
one, it's
imagine
like.
kicking a Metal Gear in the freaking face?
And then the South Koreans, they got what Crimson Desert coming out, bro. Like
That looks good. Yeah, Crimson Desert looks interesting. They really just was like, yeah, we made Black Desert and all this other stuff, but let's make a single player game that looks like really nice. And it's like, all right.
it looks like it's a big world.
That's
too.
incredible. It looks massive, right?
And when the hell
Like,
is
the
Elden
arenas are
Ring
just
releasing?
Huge. Oh,
We got
dude! Thank you
nothing,
for
bro.
reminding me of that
I
game.
just want it
I totally forgot.
so that George R.R. Martin can go back to frickin' writing.
He's writing the lore for that game, I guess. So, I mean, I guess we got that kind of schedule for it. They've only recently showed off some concept art because they decided to just drop that. So we got concept art. That's the most recent news we got. We still don't know what that game looks like. For real. Like, we have no gameplay.
Maybe
Got
let's hope
nothing.
it's because they're taking their time with it, not running into huge.
I mean, it's from
problems.
software, so they're not gonna not take their time. I mean, I say that CD Projekt Red kind of did a little bit of that, but like, From Software has always kind of been like, we drop it when we drop it, and
Yeah,
we don't
And
even talk
dude,
about it until we drop it.
dude, we
really.
got lucky though. After what was it? It was 2 years after Dark Souls 3 or 2, and then suddenly it was like Bloodborne, and then a year later Dark Souls 3. It's like that was a good 2 years.
What got me is after it, for a while, you heard about Project B Souls.
Mm.
And I wish that was the name of that goddamn game instead of Bloodborne. I like Bloodborne, but B Souls sounds so awesome.
B Souls.
B Souls sounds so cool.
B Souls. B Souls. B Souls. I think they'll have to work on me.
Yeah, Bloodborne's original name was supposed to be Project. Well, it was known as Project B Souls. Was the idea of it, and everybody heard that and was like, "What does that mean? And why does it sound so interesting?"
Dude,
And then we got little pictures of it and was like, "Oh,
Oh no, I'm thinking of Sekiro. I remember like Sekiro's like trailer was literally just like the arm moving, and people were like Bloodborne
Yeah.
2, Bloodborne 2, and then it was Sekiro, and I'm happy, but like I want
want
Elden
Bloodborne 2.
Ring, and I want Bloodborne 2. Dude, I hated Sekiro for so long, and then I finally beat it, and I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. I love that game.
Sekiro's a good game. I'm just not gonna beat it. I've just determined this. I'm just not.
Bro,
gonna
listen,
do it.
listen, man. If you go and actually do go to beat it, and you fight the optional boss, who's like the big flaming dude or whatever, that's a Bloodborne boss in a game that doesn't support Bloodborne gameplay. Like, my god, what a frustrating
good.
adversary.
I'm glad I never played that game. I would have punched it on the TV.
I'd rather
I literally told you not
puncture
to.
Yeah.
my left nut than fight that thing again. You know.
For the record, our lovely audience members, I have a. I do not like. There are games that I should not play. For Honor was the straw that broke the camel's back. Our lovely listeners, and oh boy, but
I don't know where I did it.
Amani warned me against playing Sekiro simply for the fact that I might lose a controller or a TV if that game were to come near me. But who developed that game? Was it who developed
From
that
software.
game? From software.
Same
Yeah,
people that did,
no.
all the Bloodborne games.
Yeah, no. And
I
see,
said all the Bloodborne. There's only one.
there's only
Dark
one.
Souls.
Yeah, but I have not even played half of Bloodborne. Half, because Bloodborne is long, and I do not have the temperament to sit down through Bloodborne. Leon has told me that he would love to help me, but Leon loves to spend his time being as much of a weeb in the games that he plays, and whenever he helps me, he completely rushes. He steamrolls through everything. And I'm like, Leon, I'm not experiencing anything anymore. I'm just sort of following you, bro.
Yeah.
Dude's a powerful gamer, man. Dude's
Goes out of his
powerful.
way. Right now, I'm taking him through Genshin Impact, so I'm the one steamrolling things. Not inherently, but just trying to give him a little bit of like ability to fight things. But at the same time, yeah, him and my friend Zach definitely. Zach likes you to experience it.
Oh,
he really wants you to
Zach.
experience things.
Bro, Zach is
But Zach will definitely murder anything in your world.
Zach is a character, man. Can we talk
I
about
love
him on
Zach to
stream real
death,
quick?
man.
Ah,
Beyond
leave him
death.
be.
No, not anything mean. I just like I was gonna talk about him trying to advertise JoJo to me.
Oh, JoJo's awesome, bro.
JoJo is
I
awesome,
haven't
But
watched
I
it yet.
understand.
but not the
the
way
way
he had
he-
advertised it. And I hope he sees this because he knows exactly what he said. And it was so off-putting, but also it got me like more interested. And I still haven't watched it, but it is in the back of my mind. I'll leave that off the podcast. But yeah,
You should definitely check JoJo though.
it is. I know.
You would find it actually very interesting.
I know.
But the way he did try to sell it on you is very strange. For those that don't, for those that do know JoJo, anything you could think of that you wouldn't inherently tell a normal person to sell them on it,
Was what was said,
that was what was said.
and that's okay. But also like,
It's
dang,
funny.
man. But yeah, I'll leave that off the podcast. That's a good idea.
It was just funny though.
All right, so you got any more topics?
Oh yeah, of course.
Let's go.
We're not done. Next is this game called Blue Fire that looks like Hollow Knight meets a 3D Zelda game. And
What?
I saw it and was like, this looks awesome. Yes. Recently came out. You can look at like 10 minutes of footage. I'm
Yo,
actually quite excited for it.
whoa!
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
First 10 minutes of Blue Fire gameplay. Okay.
Bro, it's Hollow
Very
Knight if it
smooth.
was in 3D.
Oh
It
wow.
looks like Hollow Knight if it met a 3D Zelda game, straight up. That's how the combat kind of works. They have these things that are kind of like the badges in that game. It's like that tremendously. It's honestly, I'm probably
Bro,
gonna pick it up myself.
Dude,
It looks really
it's
cool.
like Prince of Persia as well. All this wall running and stuff.
Yeah, it's got all the little cause it's got all the like stuff of a Metroidvania or something like that where you're just jumping around and you have new abilities and you use it to platform even better. It's really cool.
Dude, I
Still want Metroid Prime.
I love watching these more like indie companies come out with like these great ideas.
Yeah, man.
They're the best, right?
Indie games are the future, bro.
Honestly, that's what's been getting me more and more is like instead of like big AAA games, I really have been
Yeah.
going for the smaller companies and the games that don't sell that well, like Endless Space 2. I mean, it got pretty good sales, I think, but like it's just nowhere near as known as Civilization.
Oh my gosh,
An
dude.
indie game I'm for sure gonna plug real quick because I've been playing it recently. It is not that it's very well known, but I'm gonna plug it anyway because it's freaking awesome. Is Hades?
I've
recently
heard
got
about
a bunch
that.
of people into that. It's awesome. It's from the same people that did Transistor, and Pyre and Bastion. People have definitely been playing this game. It got nominated for awards. That game is awesome. If you haven't tried it, go play it. It is a really cool roguelike,
Bro.
with a very in-depth story about. If you like Greek mythology, they might be your best interpretations of those characters you've ever seen, and that's no cap.
Yeah.
Like I'm not overhyping it.
I need to go
Genuinely,
see
like
that.
you might experience them, and you might be like, you know what, these are the definitives for me now in my head.
Bro,
It's like Hades is genuinely cool. It's about for those that don't know, it's about you're playing as Hades' child, Zagreus, who is trying to escape the underworld. But the main deal is no one escapes the underworld. And that is what Hades tells you in the very beginning. So, your goal is to get out. You don't want to be home anymore. And what makes it worse is that all your family who's chilling on Mount Olympus is sending you messages basically telling you, yo, it's super cool up here, man. You should get up here and have fun, bro. Look at this. We just partying all the time. That guy's drinking. It's going to be so great when you get up here, man. We can't wait to see you. And it's cool. Like, it's a cool game, bro. They're constantly trying to help you out little bit by little bit, but the Greek gods are petty.
Oh, yeah.
The Greek gods are petty, dude.
Bro, Blue Fire, it looks like Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask just evolved. It looks really good.
So the last 3 things mentioned was Project DT, Blue Fire, and Hades are things that you guys should definitely be checking out at any time. But next on this list, gotta mention this, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Gotta mention the fact that this is coming out. Probably one of my favorite video game trilogies of all time. Almost made me cry at least twice.
Yeah.
Never, like, genuinely really good storytelling in general. Not the best ending to the series. Not the best last installment either. I liked it, but it definitely could have been better. But that is getting a remake. The initial trilogy is getting a full remake. There's coming changes along with it too. So, for instance, I know Mass Effect 1 is getting a couple gameplay changes. Like, there's a designated melee button.
Yeah.
Lock-on is a little bit more snappier. From my understanding, they're doing minor things. I kind of wish they did a full remake to the first one, but this will have to do for now. But
I think, like,
changes.
gameplay-wise, it pretty much is a full remake. It's going to be, what you call it? It's going to be more close to, like, Mass Effect 2 and 3. So
yeah, they are trying to make
fixes
it
those
more
issues.
closer to that, but I don't think it's going to be... From what I understand, it's not actually a full remake.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Unfortunate part about this, though, is apparently the code... There's 2 bad things about this. One, the multiplayer is not coming back for this game. So Mass Effect 3's multiplayer is not going to be a thing.
That's fine.
Big sad. Really like that. But I really also enjoyed those games for their story. Like, it's honestly a big sad. The second thing, technically a third, maybe bad thing, but we'll get into that. But the second thing is that the source code for one of the DLCs that had problems cannot be fixed and just won't be included because the source code for it was so badly messed up originally that they can't actually put it in.
Which
like,
DLC
it just doesn't work. I think it's one of the ones for 2.
Oh no.
I'm trying to remember the exact name.
Let me see. My bad for the clicking, guys. Enjoy the SMR.
That's for missing DLC.
Oh, Kasumi and Zaid were actually cut originally, apparently.
Oh yeah, but like they're gonna be they're in the game by default.
They were awesome. I love Zaid.
Zaid is awesome. Missing one big DLC. Jujutsu source
Oh, it's
code
Pinnacle
corruption.
Station DLC missing.
Yep. That one. I don't know how bad they messed that one up, but apparently the source code is crap. It's because of the code is corrupted, which is unfortunate. So we won't be getting that.
Yeah, forever lost due to data corruption. Wow.
It's a big unfortunate. So I will mention that as a side for those that will probably be like, oh, that sucks because this would have been the whole trilogy with everything in it. And it's like, you're right, but unfortunately we won't be getting that one just because of the fact that it was corrupted.
Apparently it was made by a second company too. It's by Demiurge Studios for the first game.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. It's Oh, Demiurge is doing the update or upgrade of mine. I'm trying to see like what it added to the game. I can't remember.
I can find it. I know Pele had sent me. I could send it to you to see what they're changing for Mass Effect 1 in particular is getting a couple cool little things, tidbits that they're doing to it. Where is it? Definitely sent this to me somewhere.
Oh no, it was actually developed by Demiurge Studios back in the day.
Yeah, here it is. He put it in. You can actually find it, Paul. It's in the chat. I don't have to send it to you. It's in the one with me, you, and him. But that is what they're changing to it.
Oh wow, yeah. So the Pinnacle Station's not in the PS3 port of Mass Effect either because wow.
Yeah, it's just bad. Like, it's not great. Not saying the DLC is bad. I would never know. I never got the chance to play it, but fortunately, that's
I
unfortunate.
played it back
The
in the day. I
other
don't remember.
unfortunate thing that is happening with it is apparently they are cutting back on the butt shots. They're gonna be changing some of those shots.
What do you mean butt shots?
You remember Mass Effect 2 and how many, like, let's be honest, how many times did the camera just stop on Miranda's ass specifically?
Oh. Oh yeah, I remember. So why are they changing?
That is a thing that they said that they're gonna be doing, is that they're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of some of those. And I'm like, I saw that and was like, makes sense, but also aw. My genuine reaction was, oh, that sucks, but it's fine. Like, I'll live.
Dude, Zack Snyder's Justice League has officially been rated R.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Whoa.
Breaking news on the first podcast. There we go. Right there.
That was on February 2nd, but there's the 5th. That's not too far away. It's
Breaking
going
news
to be
enough.
rated R. Rated R, huh?
That'll be interesting. If what was originally spoken about that is correct, we might have another Justice League Darkseid Wars on our
No, dude. I said Darkseid War. Justice League Black, Darkseid War. No, what was it? Justice League Black.
Yeah. I think so, yeah. I think that's actually it. Darkseid War.
Is it Darkseid War? Man, that was all I needed, bro. I didn't want it. I didn't want that. But now that I've seen that, I do not need to see it in live action, bro. My God. Talk about depressing. Talk about no life. Like, there are children who are watching their heroes have their limbs torn off, bro. Come on. I guess there shouldn't be watching it because it's rated R anyways, but like, man, for the first live action Justice League film, I don't think you should go rated R. I think you should. If anything, if you want to go rated R, get there. But the first one, bro.
Well, no, the first one was PG-13. It came out in theaters.
Well, yeah,
It was
but
so
technically
good.
no.
It was such a good movie at PG-13 where they construed everything into a child's play.
No. Not they turned what was supposed to be an R film into a PG-13 film.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Kind of like with
But-
Suicide Squad.
Exactly, yeah. But man, those films are bullshit. God.
Oh, God.
Oh, dude,
Well, hey,
the,
I mean,
the
Jared
audio
Leto
to
did
that
film-
literally is like
he filmed
huge,
scenes for,
medium, small.
God damn it.
I don't know how much
Jared
Jared
Leto.
Leto filmed for the new Justice League. The new Justice League.
Apparently,
God.
yeah. The old Justice League. The original Justice League.
Hey, so real quick, it's okay we don't have Pinnacle Station. IGN gave it a 5 back in the day because it exists. It only $5, not fun, lacking story, and the engine back in the day couldn't keep up with it, so there was constant texture popping and it would lag. So yeah, I'm okay with that.
It's fine. We're not missing anything.
Oh,
All right, what is the next topic, brother?
I got you. Say no more. WandaVision
oh,
is probably the most different thing the MCU has actually done. I'm not gonna lie.
easily
Is it
the most
great?
different thing.
You would
Easily.
like it.
Is it like really trippy?
Yes.
I'm intrigued.
It's easily the most different thing that they've ever done. Like, it's, out of all their movies, this is both the least safe thing they could have done, also the most interesting. And comic book fans, I'm pretty sure all around are thinking the same collective thing. That know, anybody that's a comic book fan knows what this is.
Universal
It's
praise.
told very differently, but you know
Universal
what this
praise.
moment is.
Absolutely.
Mephisto?
I can only... No.
I can't say anything, man. There's already been so much leaks.
When
for
I
the
was gonna
show
say,
that
there's just
people
like I keep
for real.
seeing stuff on my feed, and I'm like, I know that might be a spoiler, but also that's just speculation.
That's true.
That, and I saw other things about other things. I can't. Yeah, my bad, guys.
Oh, you're good, man.
We get demonetized in the first go.
Oh yeah, the people who leaked the stuff for WandaVision are being found and sued by Disney as we speak. Literally, like we know this.
Well, this is not a spoiler,
they're
Disney.
Suing.
Don't do this shit.
Don't do this. We don't even know.
They're
We don't know.
suing
I just guessed on
this
speculation
guy.
because my feed from IGN is blown up. Just calm down.
Look,
Oh,
I'm
man.
guessing based on like the decades of comics that existed.
Exactly. I have a
Think
predisposed
about
judgment.
like literally, it's
Plus, he was
Scarlet
missing,
Witch.
and
It's
Infinity
Scarlet
War,
Witch.
It's speculation. It's speculation. It's all good.
Bro,
It's all
you know
speculation.
what
We don't
enemy
know.
I want to see more than anything?
Who?
Galactus. But anyways, oh
Dude,
yeah,
I'm
and
getting Galactus
Silver
anytime
Surfer.
soon.
I'm telling you
gotta-
guys, listen, when they've reopened theaters, COVID's gone, Silver Surfer finally releases, don't sit next to me. I'm going to be... can I say this joke? You know what the joke is, but can I say that?
Go
on
ahead.
air?
Don't.
I'm going to be masturbating in the
He's
theater
like, "Don't."
watching Silver Surfer. Right? You know it already. I
do exactly what the
Dude,
joke
it's-
is.
it's-
I'm just like, go
It's
ahead.
Silver... I've been waiting on this. Not the
I think,
shit that we've already gotten. Real Silver Surfer.
Doug Jones has expressed interest in reprising his role.
Hey,
Who is Doug Jones?
the one that played
The
in
guy
the
that
original
played
movie?
him.
Oh,
in
is he the really
Fantastic Four
tall
Rise of the Silver Surfer. Yes, he is a what's called a creature actor. He's in Pan's Labyrinth. He's in Hellboy.
Shape of
he's in
Water.
Shape of
Literally
Water.
played
That
the
dude
same
is
character
incredible.
essentially in both of those movies.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Bro,
yeah, he did.
have you seen Shape of Water?
I have not.
It is worthy of the Oscar. It was a very mind-opening movie. I love
That's Guillermo. Guillermo.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo.
That guy. That's
The
that
man
guy.
who literally lives in a haunted house and has been drawing hell since he was like 5 years old. I love that man. And I would have loved to have seen his vision of The Hobbit, to be honest.
That would have been interesting.
I would have loved that because Peter Jackson. It's not that he did
also
bad;
wanted to
he
see
just had
his
to rush
take
through
on
it.
Silent Hill, but Konami sucks.
Hey,
Ooh.
good news though. Good news.
Ooh.
Konami, because they've changed their structure, they're selling off IPs, so we could still get it.
Maybe.
Here's to
Better sell
hoping.
off Metal
Think
Gear,
about
bro.
that, bro. We get a
You'll see,
Kojima,
bro.
we
I
get a
need
Guerrilla
Kojima
Games
to
or
grab
something.
Metal Gear back.
Oh my god.
I need to
Grab
do.
Metal Gear and Silent
I
Hill.
need to do Metal Gear.
I can't do this.
Well, it's not gonna work.
Oh, speaking of voices, you know Bloodborne, right? I've been practicing the one dude. He's like,
Good, all signed and sealed. Whatever. Oh no! Don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all of me a bad dream.
if I listen
Ooh,
to
that's pretty
him
good.
or Gehrman, I can get it one for one, just like when he's like,
Pretty good.
Easy enough with a bit of yarn and blood of your own. Ah, pale blood.
I love that dude.
All the credit. It's like, but
Welcome, hunt.
yeah, WandaVision's freaking crazy, bro. That's all I have to say about that. If you aren't watching WandaVision, go watch WandaVision. Unless you just don't have Disney Plus or it's not in your area, then I'm gonna say, secretly, get a VPN and watch it because it's really good. And I feel like you guys shouldn't be cheated just because of the place you live in.
Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't be. You shouldn't exist in whatever reality does not have that show.
In future
Unless your
episodes, I'm gonna
reality
work
is
on not
genuinely
derailing,
better
by
than
the way,
mine.
but-
Oh, for sure. If your reality is way better,
Stay
forget
there.
That show. You'll be fine. You're way better over there. It's like,
But man, put it like
So who's
this:
a
if
fan
your
of-
reality is better,
oh yeah, for sure.
you can see WandaVision.
That's true.
You simply
That's
must.
true. You wouldn't be missing WandaVision anyway. Speaking of better realities that are coming about because of new video games coming
What's
out, this game. Who's a fan of wrestling games?
I haven't played a wrestling game in
What do you mean
at
wrestling?
about I
Like
was
2K?
I might have been a preteen
Like,
since I played
this
the
is
last SmackDown
Now,
versus
who's
Raw.
a fan of the Aki Engine games specifically?
What is
'Cause
that?
If you're a wrestling fan, it's basically no cap the actual best engine that they ever made for wrestling games, and no one uses it.
I can't say.
Can't tell you
So if you
anything
ever
about
played,
that.
here's a perfect example. If you ever played Def Jam 5 for New York, that uses the Aki engine.
I've never played it.
And some of the older wrestling games before the 2K series use the Aki engine.
Mm.
But
So
this
what's
game resembles it.
Yes, what is this game?
Action arcade wrestling looks.
Action arcade
Honestly-
wrestling. You told me about this.
This game looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting it on the list because of the idea of like this is the watch list. If you're a fan of wrestling games, this might be the thing you need to get. You might need to hop on this. You might need to say bye-bye to 2K. Because 2K ain't doing it for you, bro. You know it's not. It's never been the same. It's okay. I'm
okay
here
to
to
admit when
give
you're
you the
wrong.
medicine you need. Arcade wrestling might be exactly what you need.
That's dope,
And-
man.
It has a very arcadey feel to it, too. Like, if you guys are looking at any of the video for that trailer,
Mm.
there's some wild stuff going on in there. It's just kind of fun. It's all about wrestling, but fun. Which is, I mean, let's be honest, if you're a fan of wrestling, kind of the whole deal with wrestling. It's fun.
It's fun.
The WWE is supposed to be fun. You think the Undertaker is really supposed to be out there taking people down with steel chairs and that people are getting hit with sledgehammers and getting back up? Of course not. But it's fun.
I did
Of
not
course
bust
not.
a man's face open completely with a sledgehammer to watch him bleed and it not be fun.
Exactly.
You are supposed to bounce back up, pal. Don't make me feel like bad about what I'm doing.
He's like, did you kill that man? No, because he just got back up.
He just got back up. All's fine. All's
And he
well.
clotheslined him immediately afterwards. He did not care.
I was
about
waiting
that
for him to
sledgehammer.
get back up so I can take this table and smash it into it. Okay? That's what I want to do right now. I want
One
to
of the
grab
few
this man
places.
and jump off a ladder, the top of a ladder, into a
One
table.
of the few places where you can fight for the custody of your child. It's just hanging over the wing, and you can just go fight people for it. It was a genuine match. That's what I think about it. They really put the child custody papers just up there and being like, well, gotta go get your kid back.
Yeah, go fight for it,
Say
pal.
no more.
Who wants it more?
Get it done.
Who wants it most? Dude, you gonna really fight for this kid or what? That's when you start realizing who your kid actually wants to live with. Your kid started doing, say, get up, get up, get up.
Please. You got it.
Please.
I just start reading. Get up.
Dad, why are you so weak? What is this?
See, I told you, it's awesome, isn't it?
It's
Just
fun,
looking at
man.
it, being like, this is interesting. It's fun. So I genuinely take a look into that. That is, well, let me see it again, just for the people in the back. Action Arcade Wrestling. Please, by all means, go check that out. It's got announced for PS4. Chances are it's going to be playable on other things as well. Go check it out.
Hope you guys enjoy
That does
that.
about it. That just about does it for the news, actually.
All right.
That covers all of our topics this time. So, I will close us out by saying we'll catch us next time on Paper Play Action. This was a fun time. For the first episode, I think it went well. I don't know about you guys.
That went great. That was wonderful. I'm gonna get some dinner.
Exactly, that's the time. What about you, Paul? How you feeling, bro?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. I kind of.
How you
Fading
feeling
out.
over there, man?
About what?
About episode 1 of Paper Play Action.
Paper. My bad, guys. I was reading something on my phone. I think it is fun, and I am excited to do another episode. But by God, I forgot how long these could go. No, I'm not saying we should limit it. It's good. I like the 3-hour mark, but man,
We've hit 3 hours, actually. We're at 3 hours, 3 minutes.
like I
I'm gonna
just.
try not to rant, our dear listeners. I'm gonna try
it's gonna
not to
happen.
rant every single episode, but man,
We'll
oh
try.
man,
I will try to not go off topic. I have veered away from the topics you've listed several times now.
Look, all you have to understand is this is who we are. We will definitely do these things. Each of us will try to rein each other in as best as possible. But the idea is ultimately at the end of the day, we're here to have fun with you guys. So, by all means, tune in next time. We'll definitely be trying to put up another one. We'll catch you all around. See you next time.
see you next time.
Have a good one,
Yes.
guys.
wonder what I got for dinner.
Yeah, so
They
I'm not
texted
gonna
me,
lie.
they're
While
like,
you
"Dinner's
guys were
ready,"
sitting
and I
there
was
talking
like,
about the show,
"Oh,
and
word?"
then you were like, "Hey, Paul, what do you think?" The reason I was quiet is I unfortunately have ended up down a rabbit hole in YouTube, in which I am watching Dollar Tree ground beef, and it looks atrocious. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah.